to make sure that they stay tuned. Just because me and this guy, this handsome gentleman, are now done, we have another handsome gentleman ready to go. It's going to be Sharif as well. And of course, you've been seeing Adara all morning. She'll be joining Sharif right now as we talk about fan principle. So we'll see about that. More strategies. Look, the thing about trading is, like, I've never heard of this principle, but
about that trend acceleration.
I like that one right there. And the thing is that you got to trade off something.
Or decelerate.
And I definitely like that one. I missed that. I don't know what exactly.
Accelerating. No, switching through the gears. You know?
Got it. You're in your Model S. And I did want to say also one more note there. I think a snooze notification just went off on my phone. It's not 11 at night, man. It's 11 a.m. We're not shouldn't be sleeping at this time. But I did want to say one more thing, and I now forget what it was. Oh, JP Morgan, its worst day all year, down 6.5%. And we did have that story early. Thank you for you guys in the chat. Thank you, Brendan, for that one as well. They'll be covering that. But there was one more thing I wanted to say, and I lost my train of thought. So that's all good. But it is now 11 o'clock. Thank you to Obi. Let's see what happens now with Palantir. Let's see what happens with NVIDIA. And let's go see what happens with the midday show. Get your learn on with Sharif and Adara. I almost said Adobe again. There it goes. Adobe's still coming to report
Friday.
Very, very soon. All right, let's get our trade on with the midday show. Thanks, everybody.
Yes, yes, yes. What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to the midday show, or formerly known as the Midday Show. Now it's called How to Trade. Welcome, everybody. We're going to wait for everyone to come on in from the other chat. But this is your girl, Adara, over here, Fabian. And I'm Sharif, and we're going to as well wait for everyone. There we go. We got Darwin dancing up a storm. We got Botrix and Mr. Jonathan Jeremy Newman. Pillsbury's also dancing up a storm. It's not just you, Darwin. We got Fabiro, we got Mateus Lane, and Rivian Millionaire. He's dropping that Rivian money. Dave Davis, Jonathan Sung, and Mamin Adam DeLuce. We got Vic Yan, Novak, CJ, the Day Trader. Big Smile or Big Style. He takes it however. Shout out to him. George Brothers, Oliver, Castros. We got the world's greatest mod, obviously, Bears versus Bulls, and Derek B. Christopher Wagner and Brian Rubin, JD, roaring on 20s. I like that. Skoll, we got Midnight as well. Oscarito, AP, Crypto, FOMO, Alexander joining us as well as Leo Rios and Brian Rubin. We got everybody in the house today. Thank you all for joining Adara and I on the How to Trade Midday Show. Good morning, Adara. What's the look?
Good morning. Hello, everybody. I'm good. How are you this morning? You're good?
I cannot complain.
Not complaining is good. I'm not going to complain, but I am going to do a little rumph at my Palantir trade, mostly because I'm like, Adara, why did you? Okay, to be clear, I love this level. I love the 3411s. I like that we have not one, not two, but three candles here to the upside. Now I'm aware, and this is where I start questioning my judgment. 34, not because it didn't work out, just because I'm thinking about the processes, right? So 3411s, I liked that level yesterday. That was a level Sharif and I both talked about yesterday on Palantir. And it was, in retrospect to Dara, also, not only is it a lower high, it's also resistance support flip. So come on now. Why are you not shorting this? But it's all good. I tried to go long because that momentum up. Risk 10 cents, which was, that worked with my risk units there. Like I said, I've been working on risking portions of my risk. And that format's helped me so far. Lost my 10 cents, got out. I managed it appropriately. I'm just like thinking back at it. It's like maybe watch it for a little bit longer. Wait maybe till this candle, right? Wait till another pop. Wait till you see all this beautiful green in the book. So just always trying to figure out how to make the trades a little bit better, a little bit cleaner. Though again, not upset that I lost, upset that I did not think, like I didn't look at the balance of the evidence as much as I wish I had. But also guys, if there's any stocks you're looking at, please get in that ticker, let us, or chat and let us know. Exclamation point. Join, space, $, whatever ticker you are interested in. Maybe it's Palantir, maybe it's, I don't know, maybe you want to look at Blums, BLMZ, maybe you want to look at GameStop, which by the way, I have lots of thoughts about that I'll talk about later. Whatever ticker you want to look at, get in that chat, let us know, show your confidence, figure out if you're confident, OB-confident, whatever you want to look at. Maybe you want to like have OB use his powers of observation on Amazon. Whatever you want to see, just let them know in that chat. I'm happy to be here. Yeah, I am looking at also just because I'm starting to do my side chart roundup. Things on my side chart today, GME, AMD, SPY, ORCL, AVGO, IWM, F, and Palantir. What are you looking at?
I'm in Amazon right now. It just hasn't showed up on the position board yet because I haven't taken a fill. But I'm in the Amazonian at the moment. I saw umpteen amount of bottoming tail candles, followed with preceded by an inverse hammer candle here on the 5. And it had been holding the 50. So I saw a bit of a bounce up on the future. Look. We're going to give this one to the low of this candle over here. So the 5-minute candle over here closes out at 12. So we'll give it the old community college try to 11s. But right now it is not showing me what I want. If we make a newer low, I could base it on this one over here. This candle's low, which is 18 as opposed to 11, but the stop's already in play. Could have got filled at the $0.50, chose not to fill there. I'm long at 33s, looking for something in and around low 70s, high 60s. The only reason is that's where we kind of consolidated at the 50 exponential on the 5. So we're going to give this one a try. Shout out to I think Juan Alejandro Castillo, because he did yell out MVIS. So I'm not sure what's going on with this one. It did pop aggressively there on the right at 10:55, right before we started the show. There was a few candles there, each with about 300,000 shares each on the 1-minute chart. 5-minute chart, excuse me. But topping tail candle through 112, coming back down to 107. I'd like to see how this trades at $1 if it makes its way down into the dollar. That is. Because there's an entirely different trade to be had there. So we'll keep an eye on that. The Zon is having trouble with 50 pennies. I won't be convinced otherwise. This is the second attempt at 50 pennies, both of which right now, at least for the moment, have rejected. So I could wet my beak here. I'm just too stubborn to do that. I'm going to wait for my exit. If it doesn't come, then it doesn't come. Then I get stopped out, and it's as simple as that. So we're going to continue to pack our patience here, looking for a bigger move or a move up on Amazon as it comes back down into the 30s. Again, no surprise there. We're going to have to pack our patience. So that's what I'm looking at. We'll get to the small cap gappers after the lesson, but we do have, yes, of course, that lesson du jour. We are talking about the fan principle as introduced by the Katina Man and Obi. So in case you're wondering what this is all about, as Obi prefaced right there, it's about accelerating and decelerating trends and to draw trend lines that reflect the acceleration or deceleration. That's all it really comes down to. A couple of rules we'll talk about there. Again, some of the stuff that we're introducing today may not be specific for intraday trading, but absolutely specific or applicable for swing trading. So let's get right to it. By the end of this lesson, we should be able to understand the fan principle as discussed by John J. Murphy in his book, Technical Analysis of the Financial Markets, off which this lesson is based, and as well as how to apply it to those real-world scenarios. So let's get right to business, baby. As we typically do, let's introduce a topic for those who have never broached it before. The fan principle, essentially a concept that helps traders analyze market trends and potential reversals. It revolves around the idea that trends don't reverse all at once. Sometimes they do, but for this case, they don't, okay? They don't reverse all at once, but rather in stages often delineated by a succession of lower trend lines or upper, depending on whether you're looking for a long or short. As the trend weakens or strengthens, doesn't matter, the slope of these trend lines become less steep or more steep, creating a fan-like appearance, and I'll show you what that looks like in a hot second. So the definition, the technical definition of the fan principle essentially refers to a sequence of progressively flatter trend lines drawn on a price chart signifying the gradual weakening of the trend, and its purpose essentially is to help traders identify where a trend might reverse, as well as providing them with entry and exit points. So that's kind of the crux of what we're doing today. Let's get right to it. So the key characteristics of the fan principle, let's talk about that. It's composed typically of 3 trend lines. Not a hard and fast rule, but that's how John J. Murphy posits it, okay? It involves 3 trend lines, as I said. The first trend line here represents the steeper part of the trend. So in an uptrend, it's going to be the most aggressive angle. The second trend line is when the price breaks the first trend line, and less steep trend line is drawn to reflect that newer trend now that it's decelerating. And then the third trend line, essentially a carbon copy of the second. If the second trend line is broken, a third, even flatter trend line is then drawn, kind of giving you the idea that we're hitting those breaks. And the gradual reversals, right? That's kind of what this principle is trying to push through. It's positing that, trends sometimes, not always, gradually revert back or slow down or decelerate. So rather than a sharp reversal, the market undergoes a gradual transition as each trend line is broken. The slope starts flattening with each successive line, showing the decreasing momentum from the prevailing trend. And what it ends up looking like, and I'll show you in a hot second over here, is a fan-like appearance. So when viewed on the chart, the sequence of trend lines as drawn creates a visual effect similar to the fan. Like the angle becomes wider as the trend weakens and the price fluctuation becomes less aggressive. And this is what we're talking about right here. So we have the initial trend, higher highs, higher lows, but that all ends up here as we break that first trend line.
It actually does.
Ram says this looks like Bart Simpson's hair, and she's absolutely accurate there. So shout out to her. So essentially, this is as good as it's going to get for this trend. So that's the area crest, and then you come back down and you're drawing a new trend line. But this is why I always say extend your trend lines as far out as your software will allow you. Looks like I'm printing there on the Zon. I didn't get printed on the Zon. Adara popped up. It popped up right into 60s, and I didn't get printed. Yeah, very frustrating, but that's okay. Now maybe we can wet our beak here, Daryl, because I'm sick of waiting, right? And I won't let the area run. Okay, so I just took some profits there on Zon. Back to the lesson. So this is why I say extend your trend lines as far out as your software will allow. You never know when that same trend line that you used as support will actually factor as resistance. We know that's the case with horizontal areas of support and resistance. They flip. Sometimes they're acting as support. They get breached. All of a sudden, they're resistance lines. The same holds true for these diagonal trend lines. Case in point, this number 2 trend line over here. Yes, it initially acts as that level of support, but once it gets breached and it bounces off that flatter trend line number 3, look where it finds resistance. Right at that area over there. All right, there we go. The Zon is up into that $0.0075. I'm greedy, baby. I want more. Let's go. Let's see if we can get up into that 3/4, Katina, man. We're gonna put the beak wetter in and around that 3/4. Thank you for that. We're gonna put that beak wetter around there, and shout out the Katina man over there in his trades. Now, well, yeah, we're gonna shout you out too, Katina man. So this is the opposite side. So we looked at the bull case scenario over here, higher highs, higher lows, the trend starts fading. The principle equally applicable for downtrends. As you can see, the trend line starts getting flatter. Number 3 is obviously much more an acute of an angle as opposed to a trend line number 1. So this is the fan-like appearance that we're alluding to. And here's one IRL, one that Adara loves to trade, not the RUT. She likes the IWM. Here's a look at the Russell back as it was in 1998. Wow, the Russ right now, Adara, the point-wise, that is, 2092. Back in the day, it was 460 back in 98, but that was before Adara was born, so it's all good there.
It is.
Yeah, right? So there's the area crest off which we base a trend line because this is a downtrend. We draw in trend line number 1. That ends up getting breached. We got to redraw the trend line to take into account the new slowing trend. That's what number 2 is for. And there you go, number 3. Once number 3 gets breached, or so the textbooks say, that's when you look for that impending reversal. Not a hard and fast rule, but something to account for when you are looking at these here charts. Now, what are the practical applications? Great to understand the theory, fantastic. What are the practical applications for this bad boy over here? Well, first and foremost, the one that we're going to talk about first is identifying trend reversals. So traders use the fan principle to detect when a strong trend starts losing its momentum. For instance, if a steep uptrend starts breaking its first trend line, it signals a weakening trend. When it breaks the second trend line as drawn, traders should consider that the uptrend may be ending and be on the lookout for an all-out reversal. It's also good for your timing, your entry, and your exit points. When to get in, when to get out. So the fan principle helps traders time their trades by recognizing when the trend has weakened enough to make an entry in the case of a reversal, or exit to avoid all-out loss if the trend dies out. It's also good for adjusting your stops, right? So especially trailing stops, I would submit to you. So as each trend line is broken, traders can adjust their stop loss levels to protect themselves against even further downwards. So multiple applications here IRL, and however you choose to do it, just make sure that you've got that base covered. But it's not always good to use these principles or these methods on their own. And we've said that with other indicators. I think it's true for this as well. So how do we combine the fan principle with other technicals so we can get that more confirmatory look? So the first one I'm going to submit to you here is the Relative Strength Index, RSI for short. The RSI can certainly help confirm whether a trend is overbought or oversold, seeing that it's a momentum oscillator, and it can align with the trend line breaks in the fan principle. So how do we use it? So if the price breaks the first trend line in the fan formation and then the RSI simultaneously is showing you overbought conditions, it strengthens the case for a potential reversal. So if you've already breached the first trend line on the way down, yet you're still above that 70 print on the RSI, you should be on the lookout for possibly the winds of change. Go Amazon. Oh. Moving averages as well. Shout out to the Katina man. Moving averages as well. Especially the 50-day and the 200-day moving averages, some of the most widely used MAs, they can serve as additional support and resistance. So how do you apply this using the fan principle? So if the price breaks a trend line within the fan principle and simultaneously crosses a key moving average like your 50, like your 200, this serves as further confirmation of the weakening trend. Moving average convergence divergence, MACD for short, one of my faves here. This can also provide further insights into momentum shifts, but how do you use it? What's the practical application? So here's a look. If the MACD line crosses below the signal line, we know there's two lines on the MACD chart, right? One's a derivative of the other. Remember, back to our MACD lesson. So if the MACD line crosses, it's a bearish cross below the signal line at the same time, that or very close to, the price breaking that first or that second or third trend line in the fan principle, it adds weight to the argument of an all-out trend reversal. So keep that on the lookout. And last but not least, the other technical indicator that I think most of us use, volume. You don't really need to have any lines on your chart to show up volume here. It typically shows at the bottom of the chart. So if the trend line is accompanied by a higher than usual trading volume, it's suggesting to you that the move is significant and could lead to further breakdown in the trend. So you're going to ask me, Sharif, how do I know that the volume print there is above or below average? So simple cursory view with the volume bars that preceded it. Is it standing out? Yes, no, kind of. If it is, I guess maybe you're going to have to make that decision there. But if it's a yes, obviously you're looking at giving it more weight. If it doesn't stand out and it's a breach of the line on lower volume, well, then that's not really the look there, okay? So to summarize, here are the key takeaways from the fan principle. It provides a structured way of analyzing trend weakening and reversal. It also helps traders anticipate trend reversals by observing a series of progressively flatter trend lines. And last but not least, by combining the fan principle with other technical indicators like we just explained, RSI, MACD, volume, whatever, traders can certainly improve their timing as well as their decision making in the market. I hope everybody prints up a storm.
We always hope everyone prints. Shout out to Sharif so much for printing every day with those lessons and for printing on Amazon.
Thank you, Adara.
Also, I'm in Oracle. I would like to talk about it. I have thoughts. Okay, I will say, I think the level, the 156. Oh, okay, we just did a creep down to the downside on the ask. Okay, I feel better about this now. We're gonna see if we can keep dropping that ask a little bit lower. But this PLTR, ORCL. Shout out to Obi, I guess because they just pinned it on his face. But ORCL here. I like that flat bottom break. I was looking at this 156.50. Wow. I was just about to get short, and then I quit doing. So I'm like, okay, guys, come on now. So then I'm like, you know what, Adara, and I do this sometimes. I find it to be like not always effective, but it can be an effective strategy. Then see where we move next. Then use that initial level you liked as your stop. That worked. So I get involved at 156.25. So when we broke below that, we were just like quitting because I was like, cool. Got in 156.25, risked into 156.50s. We kissed the 156.50 level. We just pecked it on the cheek, and then we came right back down. I was like, dope. I like this level. I have decent risk on this. I'm using 2 risk units on this. I usually use 1. I feel good about this trade. I think if we break decisively below this level, I think it's Gonzino. Shout out to Benzino and his daughter, Coyle Ray, I guess. Let's see what happens, though, because right now we keep, and also shout out to Benzinga. Shout out to you, Fabian. But let's see what we do here at 156.25. We seem to try to be finding it a support, though, after briefly resisting. Let's see if we can keep resisting this. We're going to shout out, I think we have a couple minutes till that, but I also want to look here quickly at Palantir. So we have, someone tagged me with this. It was M Sensing. Shout out to Sean and Obi with that. We have M Sensing. Palantir's moving back up. What are we waiting for it to break? The last time I thought 3460 was the number. I was not right. Hashtag help, question mark. Ooh. I don't know if I'm going to be your girl on Palantir here, and I say that because the long at 3410, which I tried, that would have been right. Didn't work out, got stopped out, didn't get back in. It kept pushing. Then I tried the short, wasn't effective. So I'm not sure I have the levels. The one thing I will say, though, is that I honestly, like, my levels can be a little bit lower, 34 to 40, 34.25, 34.10s. I would say, though, if we can't make a higher high, if we can't get above the 34.70, to me, that might be dicey. We'll have to wait and see what happens here on the Palantir one. But right now, I'm just still watching Oracle drip, 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 drip to the downside. I'm not an Oracle. Oh my God, I love that I traded both Oracle and Palantir, which are both things trading the future. That's actually really funny. So I can't see the future, though I have been involved in ORCL and PLTR. If I could see the future, I probably would have traded Palantir differently. Hey. But let's see how this Oracle trade goes. Right now, happy with it. I'll be so much happier, though, if it breaks below 156, at which point we might be adding a scintilla of shares. But we also want to shout out our friends at the Benzinga one.
Dara, I know you're not, but are you tired of being late to the trade, always playing catch up in this market? Are you missing out on the big moves because you're too slow to the news? If so, Benzinga Pro is your unfair advantage. Get breaking news alerts up to 30 minutes before everyone else and pinpoint exactly why stocks are moving. And yes, join a thriving community of traders who share their strategies in real time. Are you ready to see how Benzinga Pro can transform your trading? If so, visit benzinga.com/pro and get yourself that free 14-day trial. Now, I know that's for a fact what this gentleman here was saying. So that's a love. All right, so Amazon trade, good but bad. Because it went up, 40 pennies more than where I got out. So Amazon on the way up over here, but I'm looking actually at the volume weighted average price on Amazon. And that's hanging out near the $0.50, right around here. So intersecting this middle area consolidation before we drop below that. So 178, let me give you the exact level on my 5-minute chart over here, 44, so mid-40s. Not going to be first to the party, need proof that it's going to reject off there, especially if the Future wants to make another attempt, possibly at 18.8 on the NQ September contract. It's the Future, this is, still putting in lower highs, so I'm not really, on the lookout for something massive coming to the high side over here. As we see, there's the IB high, successively lower highs. Let's see if we're able to weasel our way into a new high. A new high comes in an 18,790 break. That changes the trend of lower highs. So we'll keep Packer patience. I'm very, very aware of the umpteen amount of bottoming tail candles, all of which bounced off the closing print of the NQ yesterday. Where is that closing print? Just a skosh below 18.7. 18,691 from what I can glean here on the charts. Look at all these bottoming tail candles. We defended this. This is not by accident, okay? Somebody or whatever. I'm not going to speculate as to who or why or whatever. The point is, we defended that level. So if we can curl back up, make that new high, I'm a little bullish on the market. We'll have to see, obviously, with that 100-point level, what the sitch is. But my first line in the sand that I want to look at is that newer high. So we'll pack our patience there, and we'll see if we get that. Simultaneously, I am looking at the Amazon volume-weighted average price. I don't want to be first to short this, nor am I even very interested in shorting. But if it does reject off VWAP, I will. Why am I not that interested? Well, it's up 1 2/3. So it's strong on the day. It's gapping up. I think you chose it as one of the stocks to go long in the morning. Were you not bullish on it, Amazon? You were. It's a #1 stock, he says. So he was obviously bullish on it on the morning, because I did hear you say that, and I think you did take it long. So I'm not. Yeah, go to the Katina Man's chart there for a sec. There it is. Yeah. So he bought it at the bottom. Yeah. Yeah. I have to agree with that. Say it again. He has a 180 out essentially, which is literally the high of the day. So I'm not, super eager to want to short this, but if it rejects VWAP, it rejects VWAP. That's as simple as that. The other look, AAPL. Now, this seems, for the moment, to have a bit of a top at 220. How can I tell? Oh, I don't know. Let's see. 1 rejection. Oh, 2, then 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5 rejections at 220. There must be something with that level. So we're going to wait and see whether we get that flat top break. We're going to be negative on the day on Apple, even if we break 220, because we just closed a little bit below 221 yesterday after that big buy up in the afternoon. So I'm very interested to see how Apple does. I don't want to say I see an inverse head and shoulders over here because I didn't see a downtrend to precede it, but it was a big V-shaped recovery of sorts, and I kind of see this as a bit of a right shoulder, but we'll see. 220.02 HOD on AAPL, but that doesn't mean bupkis to me. We got to clear it by a little bit more than 2 pennies. The few essentially after the open, every single closing print rejecting off the volume weighted average price on NVDA. However, much like Apple, it has a bit of a V shape with this area being, you know, the lowest point, and we've recovered a little bit, so we could get a curl here. It looks like I guess maybe I'm just seeing things today, but I see another possible inverse head and shoulders on the in the making if it does break that level aggressively, but it could also just reject VWAP for the remainder of the afternoon. So those are my looks right now on the future. I feel like NVIDIA is trying to break VWAP. What do we have here with Tesla before we send it back to Adara? Tesla, the strongest of the Mag 7 names, without question, up 3.5%, was up higher at the peaks. It's above VWAP, but in this consolidation range where it has some resistance, Adara, at this 224 area.
Yeah, TSLA, interesting look. I have levels in that kind of more in the teens, but I'm going to talk about Oracle because I do not like what I did with this stock. And by that, I mean, like, I should have been managing this way more actively. I was not an active manager. There should have Kathy Wood, who we know is an active manager. I was just kind of like, you know, sitting, I don't know, I have no excuses, I have no words. I am disgusted. It is not a good vibe. But you know what's great? You can always be bullish positivity, and you can be green positivity even when you're not green in the trade. Basically, what I should have done was I should have moved my stop to 156. Jeez. I don't know why I didn't. I didn't because I know yesterday one of my biggest issues was my stops were way too conservative. Like, I kept looking at all my charts yesterday. I'd be like, oh, that's a nice trade. And then it'd be like, oh, you got out like a cool, you know, 1.5 too early, that type of thing, right? So I think that got in my head a little bit. Not super proud of the mental there. Big yikes. But you know what's great is you can learn from that. You can keep moving forward. And yeah, I should definitely have been more kind of cognizant of the stop. I wasn't. I was just kind of like, oh, what? And then it got away from me. So don't like what I did there. But where's the next trade? As Obi says, shout out to Obi. Palantir actually might be the next trade for me. So I was saying to someone in the chat here, I think it was M-Send, I said, if we make, bless you, if we make a lower high, to me, I think it is kind of bearish, but I would not be getting short. I don't think I said this there. I know I've loved that 34.40 level. I'm obsessed with that level. If we break below 34.40, I am shorting this because to me, look at that. So this was, I'll show you guys yesterday because there was some interaction at 34.40 as well, which is why there you go. So I guess you can't see it as much. There was a bit of a, you know, topping tail candle here, held the support, dropped below, came back up. There was a lot of chop and trip within that range. And then when we get our last pop to the upside, we bounced off 34.40. So that was a level that I really enjoyed. If we break below it, then I do think there's a short there, potentially speaking. But also, speaking of NY names, because apparently I keep trading the NYSE, shout out to Sean for getting me some shorts here in GME. Cheers. Shout out to Real Trading as well. They do bring you our audience segment where you can vote for stocks of your choice, exclamation point, join, space, $, whatever tickers your fancy. But, you know, you got to have a lot of confidence to trade GME. So I wanted to use the confidence button there. I initially liked a flat bottom break here. That 24.60 level was the level I liked yesterday. Waxed a little bit of poetic about it yesterday. Look at those lower highs. I thought we'd flat bottom break, but then we actually make a higher low. One of the levels I liked on the way to the downside was this 24.45. So if we can hold this, I would actually like to take this long. I have my shorts, you know, and I was going to say shout out to Real Trading because you can get shorts there. 1,000 GME shorts for $1.20. That is very affordable, so shout out there if you are on a budget while shorting. But yeah, basically, like I was saying to Sharif earlier, I said, you know, if I short this thing, it's like going to be like Andrew Left who? He's going to be Andrew Left in the dust by how hard I short this thing. But at this point, I do like it long. If we can bounce off 24.40, I like the stock, but I don't have a plan on it quite yet, so we're going to wait. I have a very detailed short plan, but not a long plan, and I don't want anyone to think I'm a massive GME bear or anything, so I'm actually going to pull up my notes I have on this so that we all know I am not inherently bearish GME. I said if it keeps up with the higher lows, it's a long. I don't want any misconceptions after that whole Andrew left related pun. But we've just bounced off 40, so that's a nice look. I just need to figure out where I would risk into in a way that makes sense. It's also a position I would build into. I wouldn't go hard with all the shares right at the start because it is gummy and it might not give you everything you want right away. How are you doing over here?
I'm good. I'm in BKYI. We're going to give this one the old community college try at VWAP over here with the stop already in place. I like my levels. It holds, it holds. It doesn't, it doesn't. Simple as that. So we obviously have an area crest over here off which to base resistance. Initially, then when that resistance gets breaking, technical analysis tells us that it sometimes acts as support. Let's see if it does. So that's why we're in the trade. Let's see if we can get up into the mid 40s. That's where I'm waiting to wet my beak. There is size at almost every level, quite frankly, but that's to be expected from a small cap gapper. Here are the details of it. Up 133.5%. It's got a staggeringly large market cap of 4.75 million shares. That's just too big for me to trade. 114 million shares traded on the day with the float of 1.7 million shares. And let's bring down trade ideas here and shout out to Nos Boss and his crew. BKYI. BKYI. Kind of. Hello, bro. Hello, BKYI. Let's find out what the short float is on it. Negligible. 0.5% of the 1.7 some odd million shares is shorted there. So not much to talk about. Not really expecting any sort of short squeeze, but it does have a smaller float. So in and of itself, by virtue of having a small float, it can become parabolic in nature because it'll lack liquidity. And so that's where I'm waiting right now. I got in, where did I get in? 34s. We're printing 39s. I'm waiting mid 40s come what may. Now, let's bring in the side chart over here composed of mostly small cap gappers. But as you'll notice on the side chart over here, we have AVGO, which is having itself a hell of a day, as well as Oracle because it did report. So that's what we're looking at today in terms of non-small cap gappers on this side chart. A new entrant, though, has emerged over here, given that it doesn't have a ticker next to its name, AILE. This one is awfully directional and awfully strong. 95% right now up on the day. Big boy moves. It's just moved into #1 gap scanner on my, the #1 gapper on my scanner since the open, up 70%. Here are the details. About $200 million market cap with 28 million shares traded today, and it's got a float of 23 2/3 million shares. And let's find out what it has in terms of a short float, Fabian. We'll show them trade ideas and shout out the Nos Boss over here. Okay, decent short float, nothing to write home about, but 6 1/3% of that 24 and change is shorted. Perhaps maybe squeezing out some shorts over here. We'll have to pack our patience and keep an eye out. I'm not going to trade this right now, and you know why? Because it's extended off the 10 exponential on the 5. When these small cap gappers get super extended away from the 10 EMA on the 5, I tend to stay away because usually they mean revert. It doesn't mean they're going to break trend. It just means that they're going to come back in. Do they always come back into the 10 exponential? The answer is no. So you might have to front run that level, but I use the 10 exponential almost as an informal gauge of overbought, oversold, at least, momentarily there on the chart. So AILE, moving big boy over here. We're going to have to keep an eye on this one. BKYI did breach 40, but it was met with some selling. So we're in the money, but we're not printing anything yet as we need to get into mid 40s. Now we're printing 42s. So it's not a bad look. We weasel up a little bit more. I'll get my first print. So that's the look there. WHLR, a holdover from yesterday, but having a decent day, not tradable under my system at the moment as a breakout because it has given up the ghost at the volume weighted average price, which is trading at 8 4/5 right now. AILE already talked about. This is kind of weird. Upstart and Affirm are having awfully weak days, and I haven't seen news. So when Adara sat down, I asked her, I'm like, Adara, there's like these umbrella patterns on both of them now that they've kind of turned into hockey stick patterns, but both of them looking awfully similar here, and I don't get it. If you guys know why these bad boys are dropping, or that group, that sector in general, please tag Adara and I in the chat. I'd love to know. AFRMUPST, week today, Adara.
Yeah, I'm just, I am in 2 trades right now. I am shorting the SPY, and I am long GME. SPY, I had a level I liked on that 547.50. I'll show you guys the chart in a bit. I'm just watching the book, letting it cook. We'll be taking out half la position at 547s, and it looks like we just had a big slam to 547s. In the meantime, as we let our SPY, hopefully get us some gravy, get us some bacon, all that stuff. I am watching the book though, because like I said, with the SPY chart, it's always going to be every SPY trade for me is at least a little bit book based. In this case, it definitely helped. But the GME long, which we're basically flat on, I liked, like I said, I tried to do things in terms of risk units. Basically, I liked this 24.45 area. I said that I was interested in that area earlier. I was initially kind of tempted to go long 24.40s, but I said, Derry, you like 45s. It hasn't gotten below 40s, so just kind of go with that. Also, I'm going to get out a SPY here because we can't really get below that 15-cent line. There we go. And as we get out, we push lower. It's all good. You got to trust what you see, though I will be journaling about that, as I do with everything. But to just get back to GME before I recap the SPY trade, why I like this is because I can risk into 24.25. That's 20 cents for GME. I don't think that's unrealistic. And look at all these wicks we have into 24.25. To me, this is massive support. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green candles. I like this trade, Sharif. I'll be adding at 24.55s. I'll be adding again at 24.60s. Really small adds. Okay, we're getting into 55s. Got to get that trigger finger at the ready, Sharif, because I want this game to not stop quite yet. We'll start taking profits once we break into this 24.80s level. Do I have intense ambitions for this GME trade? Perhaps I do. Maybe I do. That's very valid. But you know what? You got to trade what you see. You got to trade what you like. And I know I like trading a lot of these spreadier tickers, but what I'm realizing is you can apply those strategies to other stocks as well. Oracle curling back up. I did very iffily with that stock, but if things present themselves, they present. I'll keep watching. I want to talk about my SPY trade, though, why I traded the way I did. Though I was a bit overzealous, perhaps, and that could have been because I was also looking at Gamay. But I took this short because look at this 24, like 50s-ish level, right? Or sorry, 24, I'm talking about GME. 547, 50s-ish level. I'm going to pull up the 15 because that's the level I usually look at in the side chart. We double topped this 547, 50s yesterday. I love this. I love this. We come into 547.50s. I was looking at the book. I said, if we bounce, you go long. If we don't, you go short. We went below it. We went short. I should have been, and I don't love what I did here. I should have just been waiting for the 547. Took out at 547.15s. It's all good, baby. If we get another opportunity to short 547, I will go short, though I do not necessarily like shorting SPY retests. I've said this before. I only ever have 2 playbooks in the SPY, trading previous levels that I've looked at on the book and the chart, and trading whole dollar breakdown. So that was the former. We'll see here if the latter comes in as we get another whole dollar break. The other level I love is this big old tranche here at 546. No, I guess not tranche, just a big old kind of trough. 546 here in the SPY. That was also a higher low. So if we break below that, I am getting aggressive with that trade. That is for sure. 545 also kind of interesting to me in terms of the fact that we double topped and double bottomed a bit. On the 15-minute chart, we are 5 cents in the money in GME. Woo! No, as I said that, we're back to flat. So exciting times. Also, speaking of GME, there's this super chat from Michelle Bear. Thank you very much. It is addressed to Sharif. So I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting to it. I'm sorry, I didn't see it.
No, it's okay. I didn't see. I mean, I'm trading GME, so I can address it.
Yeah, go for it.
Thank you very much. You said Sharif, but either way, hello, Michelle Bear. My GME prediction. Big red on earnings, then an RK SEC form, and the next day confirms he sold Chewy Stack, then a rally. Where will he spend that money? Around 245 million USD.
Wow.
More GME. I mean, to me, it's kind of hard because you don't really know, right? It's just a prediction. We can look at Chewy, though, and what Chewy's done since that whole situation of Roaring Kitty. Yeah, sorry, guys. Sometimes the French pops in. Also, I feel like DJ Kelly because you got the bio key there. Wow, Chewy actually really strong today. Higher lows. Look at that topping, some topping tail candles, but it kind of looks bullish to me. Bull flag bouncing off the 90 MA and VWAP. So Chewy, not a bad look. I mean, like I said, it'll be really hard to tell. I have no idea how Roaring Kitty's going to spend this money, right? I don't want to speculate. We'll have to see how those earnings go because if there's anything GME likes, it's a surprise.
Oh yeah.
And it's excitement. So we'll have to see how it's going with Ryan Cohen and GME and Roaring Kitty and all that. That'll be pretty interesting updates. That is for sure. So I don't have any predictions as to how he'll spend it, so I apologize for that, I guess, lack of answer. But we also have to thank our lovely sponsors at Firefly. We'll flit over to that. Ad read. Thank you very much to Firefly Neuroscience. Firefly Neuroscience is revolutionizing brain health. Our groundbreaking brain network analytics technology is transforming care for patients with depression, dementia, anxiety, and concussions, and ADHD. With 15 years of research and a wealth of brainwave data, we're set to illuminate the future of diagnostics and treatment. Pharmaceutical companies and medical practitioners, get ready. FDA 510K cleared BNA technology here to supercharge your clinical trials and enhance patient care. Join us at Firefly Neuroscience, traded on NASDAQ as AIFF, and be part of the next big leap in neuroscience. Ignite hope, one brain at a time. How you doing over here?
Fantastic. I almost got stopped out for the remaining little amount on BKYI. I was able to get printed, so I'm happy about that. It almost came down to stop me out at 2 1/4 over here. 2 1/4 is where I'm placing my stop. It did find a bit of a bid, so we'll see what we get there, and we won't get upset. We're also printing on Amazon. Happy with this trade, but let me tell you something. I've been watching Amazon for a hot minute now while the market rejected 18,787. Amazon's stronger than some of these other ones. I got deeper red candles on NVIDIA, on Apple, on Google, on Microsoft than I did on Amazon. So I chose the wrong dang stock to want to take short on this little market pullback. In spite of that, I'm still printing on it. Let's see if we can get a bit 20 cents. We'll take 20 cents if it comes down to the $0.50. Because look, quite frankly, I think I got the wrong stock here, especially with the future coming into VWAP. Now, by virtue of it coming into VWAP, it could find a bid, which means Amazon being the strongest, at my estimation at the point, could find the strongest bump off that VWAP touch on the future. So we'll see if that manifests. That's why I got out some there at 60 on AMZN. I'd love a print at 50. We do have these lower highs, lower lows, kind of looks like it's doing a rounded top. I don't want to paper hand the trade in case we do break below the volume weighted average price on the future, and that helps Amazon come back a little bit more over here. But as we mentioned, Amazon put some respect on its name, 1.88 or 89% up on the day. The second best only to TSLA, which is up 3 1/4. So maybe the wrong move here for me to take this bad boy short, but we already printed on it and we moved down the stop. So that's a look there. Now, it looks like we will be stopped out for the remaining amount. Okay, so this was a little bit of shareage over here. We take a bit of a loss on the BKYI long as it does break my technical level. So there's nothing more for me to do on this until it reclaims that level. Back to Amazon here as it's creeping into that 3/4, but catching a bit of a sell back into the low 60s. This is where I wet my beak last time. I don't want to take it out here, right? But, you know, is the market going to give me more than this? Well, I have 3 successive candles on the 5-minute chart, each with lower lows and lower highs. What am I getting worried about? Making stuff up in my mind. So I'm going to hold this. I'm going to hold this. I already have my my out set exactly where I want it. I'd like a flush to the mid to low 50s. In fact, so much do I like it. Let's put our beak wetter right there, just in case, you know, it does flush, but I have a feeling that it will not. So that's a look there. Let's talk about NVIDIA, because NVIDIA did do the VWAP rejection in kind of the way that I was hoping Amazon would, but this has been a love affair today between NVDA and VWAP. Look at the amount of rejections at VWAP with NVIDIA. Now here's the look. It's coming into that closing print on the day. So it's starting to do a bit of a range. VWAP to the high side, yesterday's closing print to the low side. Save and accept, as usual, with this IB low over here. You're going to have outlying events. That's just the way that this business is. You can't expect everything to bounce neatly off your levels. But for the most part, it has. VWAP to the north side as resistance. Yesterday's closing print at 106.5 to the downside as support. Let's see how long that lasts for. And if I had to take my guess, you know, we probably do breach 106.50 on a closing basis unless the future catches a bid here. And the reason I say that is because we've been putting in successively lower lows. And we obviously, you know, have a bit of a, we're below VWAP. That's also bearish. So we'll see what NVDA does. It already has a 109.40 HOD there. So nothing to write home about. Anything else afoot with these here markets except NVIDIA bouncing off the closing print from yesterday. AILE still doing its thing there, you know, well extended off the 10, but it's coming back into more reasonable levels here, okay? Like when it was at 159, that was what I meant, like it was awfully extended away from the 10 EMA on the 5. But now it's coming back into reasonable levels. Like I said, you're not going to likely get a touch to the 10 every time, so you're going to have to front run it if you want it. right? So if you want to get in here with these small cap gappers, they don't give you all that much in terms of retracement once they're very momentum, when they're very strong. So another one I'm looking at here, AFRM. We've been talking about Affirm and Upstart being awfully weak on the day. Affirm is working its way back into the volume weighted average price. Last time it did that, as you can see, double top into 36.80, and then it moved back down to test 36 again. So we'll see what this one gives us, Adara. If it is a little weak, we'll take it short again. No worries.
Yeah, I mean, no worries right now in GME, which is like one of the most shocking sentences I've ever said.
I got printed on Amazon. Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Yes, please just punch. Pump for you as you pump your fist.
Hey.
So GME here. I added where I wanted to. We're going to add one more time. As I previously stated here, 2460s, basically using the levels that I liked as a potential short when this thing was weaker to build a long. We're going to get out break even. I know I've been saying my stop's too conservative. Really want to work on my exit rules, reasons to buy, reasons to sell. So we'll have to see what happens here on this gimme. But right now, let's see if it gives me what I want. And I will say, one thing that makes me feel pretty good is this attempt to break into 2460 is mirroring the attempt to break into 2455. So 2455, you can see we topping tail candle. We flush hard back down basically to my point of entry. We come right back up. We pop up. And then we cannot break above that next level. So let's see if we can break past this 2460. I'll be adding into this position. It's not huge, but it's not small either. It's very manageable. I would like to see what we do here, 2465, and then after that point, we'll be off to the races. As I said, 2480s is definitely going to be profit-taking level for me. It's a level I liked yesterday as well, I believe. 2460s, I know I liked yesterday as well. Let's see what this, what we have. Yeah, 2470s, I guess, probably more clear of an area of a top. But either way, the 2480s, I think, really clear in the day. Maybe we'll take some out at 75s as well. But right now, I want to see if GME can keep pushing higher. I apologize here. I have like kind of accidentally, you know when you like accidentally shake your mouse and then everything goes away? So I'm still trying to get all my little tabs back together there. I apologize for my screen being all cray-cray. Thank you to Zoltan Rain and some other people in the chat here for the really kind words. I'm really happy to be here learning and growing with you guys every single day. And I know I always sound like I'm giving an Oscar speech, but I am really that thankful to the Academy and to everyone out here. Palantir trying 34.55, says Jorge Alvarado. So let's take a look here at P to the L to the T to the wow. Okay. Wow, we wicked into the 34.40 area that I talked about, and we came right back up. To be clear, I think this could still bounce, but I don't, for my purposes, I would rather try it as a short. Either way, I'll see what we do with 34.40. I'm not getting involved in this before that point. That is for darn sure. So I'm just trying to make sure I have all my order books up so I can look at my gumme. Also, gumme is coming into flat here, so we're going to be getting out of GME, seeing what we do here. Like I said, I wanted to kind of get out here, break even. So we're going to be getting out of the GME one here. Oh no, I accidentally tried to add more shares. That is big yikes. But let's see if we can get out here. Got out flat. Please just punch with this trade. If we keep bouncing here, if we get another kind of test at 24.55, I'll try it. Maybe I was too conservative with this because I do still think it'll bounce. But we had the flip side with Oracle where I was like, I don't know what was happening there. My brain was, away at the wheel. I don't know. There's another trade. ASAPL is not a ticker. I meant to type AAPL here on the NASDAQ. My bad. Okay, Apple, come on now. I want to talk about Apple here. So I got stopped out, and then Apple does this. To be clear, I would absolutely get back in if we get back to 219.80, which was my entry in the first place. This was a level I liked yesterday. I kept waxing poetic. I'm actually going to set my order there because I actually want this. 1879. We're going to be risking back into the same level. I don't think I'm going to get filled, but we'll see what we do here. Basically, the reason I like AAPL here is because we did have all that chip and top into that $220.40 level, which $220.50 was a pretty interesting level yesterday. Then we could do, right? We come into that 220. I said, if we break below 220.80s, I want all the smoke, or 219.80s, I want all the smoke. We did, I did. We got stopped out. Those we broke back above 220. So should have had better eyes on that. I was busy babysitting GME for the record. Happy I got out of that flat where I did because that went back to the downside. You know what I'll do with Apple? Is I'll have to do that. Okay, I was going to say, every time I have an idea with Apple, that thing keeps Kadoon King. We'll see what we do with 219s. Oh my gosh. the SPY is falling below 546. I wish I had more eyeballs, Sharif.
Honestly,
you can't be an Oracle or a Palantir when you only have your 2 eyeballs on the market. But yeah, I will say with regards to Apple as well, and I said this in the chat earlier today, I said this just as well yesterday, I do find their hearing aid function in the AirPod to be by far the most compelling element of that presentation yesterday. Probably not something shareholders necessarily reacted to, but something I think could be pretty key. Also, Apple, what are you doing here? At this 219.35, look at some interactions over here. I don't want to call it confluence because I don't want to waste the word confluence, but if you have any ideas about any confluence on any stocks, you want to hear what Obi and Sean have to say about that, the Obi Confidence, the Confidence, Mr. Confluence himself, get into that chat, exclamation point, join, space, $, that ticker, and let us know. Groff telling me Intel broke 52-week lows. Big yikes. But yeah, I guess no one's pretty confident about that, I am sure. But we'll look at Intel down 2.5%. I have no words on this. Yeah, Groff, thank you for telling us. This is we got an umbrella handle pattern, quadunk, another umbrella handle pattern into VWAP, quadunk. Bit of a rounded top, and once more for good measure, quadunk. Speaking of Quadunks, Mr. Quadunk himself over here, Sharif, what are you looking at?
I'm looking at NVIDIA, Daryl, 106 on NVIDIA, lots of size at the whole dollar there as the future comes back in to that low that we put in at 1050, 18,672. Here we go. We're going to breach. Look at this level on NVIDIA. Look, it's not the biggest size I've ever seen at the whole dollar, and there it goes. So we did take that level out, not touching any of these to the long side. Shout out to the spiled one. He wants the world to burn, baby. No, I'm kidding when I say that, obviously. But he was short biased today, and there goes the market on the lower high that we talked about. There he is, right in the chat, right on cue, right on cue. Shout out to Big Spile Burnett. Thank you for the $5 super chat, man. How'd I guess that you were going to be messaging there? Big Spile Burnett, always killing it there on the SPY. Also want to shout out Dan, the dang man Emmons as well. He's always trading up a storm on the NQ. Dan, what's going on with these NQs, with these NQ prints, Dan? Because what I'm seeing here, and let me know what your opinion is if you're in the chat today, Dan. I haven't seen you. But lower highs, now lower lows. We have a bit of a downward channel. Oh, where do we study this? Oh, that's right. Yesterday, we did channels. Yes, channel lines. And there we go. So this has been, we're kind of respecting that range. Let's see if we get that bounce off this area right here. Right now, it looks like we're kind of catching a bid. We are now negative on the NQ September contract below that 18,690. That was yesterday's closing print, so some negativity coming in there. Now, with respect to the Mag 7, where does that leave us with the Mag 7? Well, Apple trying possibly to catch a bid off the volume-weighted average price. It's also trying to keep the higher low situation going. So area trough, area trough, area trough if we hold up here. What's the low here? Mid 40s. Okay, so you're gonna have to risk 20 pennies as it bumps up there. It's right back above the volume-weighted average price. I like these kind of quick wicks down because if they get bought up, you can just kind of base your stop on the candle low, and then if you get stopped out, you're not losing all that much. But it does look like we are catching a bit of a bid here right now. For the moment, we'll have to wait and see whether that's sustainable or not. NVIDIA's back above 106 again, so that's a good look if you want to weasel your way into some of these Mag 7 names, and that's what we're in right now. Well, we're not in. We're looking at NVDA here. I don't need to be first to the party, nor do I want to use that 106 level as a base of support because it got breached and it just got breached again. So good thing I'm not using that. I'm keeping an eye here. I don't need to be first to the party, but I just want to see if we continue to breach the lows as we just put in. We put in a print below 18,660. So I want to see if we can come back into that level again. Apple is still holding. Where is my Apple screen? Oh, I removed it to put NVIDIA. So we're going to have to take off APLD and put AAPL over here. There we go. I want to keep my eye on Apple because if the market catches a bid here, Apple currently at or a little bit above the closing, the volume-weighted average price. So if it catches a bid, they're fantastic. It already caught a bid there earlier, right at 1050. It wicked through VWAP and then it made a new high. So if that's going to be the situation, we want to be able to trade these bad boys over here. And I'm unsure exactly how this all pans out now that Tesla's also coming down. Lots of these Mag 7 names, including the future, on the way down. I don't want to be a schmuck and punch into Apple when we're at low day right now on the here future. So I'm thinking about this. I'm not really sure exactly how I want to trade this with all these larger cap names near lows. So, yeah, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. Jonathan Sung, long bias, but if low, then 1850, 813. So he's long bias on something. All right, let's see what everybody else is saying. Armando's asking about Tesla. Yeah, it just dumped into the 50 exponential as well. So, yeah. So is this a short to pop kind of situation from here on in? Here comes Apple again near the lows. So I'm trying to figure out exactly how I'm going to do that. But I saw you get excited about something. Do you want to talk about it?
Oh, no, I just gasped because I accidentally almost like got out of Palantir early, and I don't want to do that.
Good.
I'll let you continue. So
Yeah, no worries.
Talk about that later.
Yeah, no worries. Jay Lee, take the TQQQ short with a tight stop. I don't think you're wrong, Jay. I just need to discern the trend. We're at lows right now. I don't want to be punching in short at lows. I want to see if we do catch a bit of a bounce here. That was a nice little drop. I think we range personally. We're just not even that red. We're only 0.13. So I'm going to pack my patience here now. If I can take a short to pop kind of situation on any of these names, that's fine. But I'm gonna pack my patience here because I don't have a read on the market trend other than saying going down. So that's my look there. Sorry, guys, couldn't be more definitive than that. But you can't always, execute a perfect read on the market. So I'm packing my patience. I want to see what we get going into the noon hour here, Adair. Almost 5 minutes till noon. Can you believe it?
Oh my gosh, yeah, time flies when you're having fun in this year market. I got short PLTR, and I did that because I really liked. Brian, hello, Dara. I liked this rounded top, and I liked that we broke below 3440s. Now, I added when we broke into 3430s. Then we came back above. I was like, okay, Palantir, cool. Building into this position, I like what I have here. And in terms of my stop, you may ask, I will be risking now into 3441s. Why? Because A, that gives me the exact same amount I was risking at my initial position just based on averages and my risk units and whatnot. And B, like 40s is the level for me. If we can break above 40s, I don't want any smoke, Sharif. I want to be like a restaurant after the 70s. No smoking inside. No smoking allowed inside. Take the tobacco out. We don't want to smell that. There's kids in here. Weird analogies aside, I love how every time we get to that 3440 on the ask, we come right back down. Not super proud. Oh, okay. We're going to get out of Palantir here. Not super proud of the trading today. I have been pretty upfront about that. It has not been a good look. But oddly enough, I'm proudest of GME in that I got out flat. Sometimes small victories, Sharif. Very small victories. SPY, to be clear, I had one good trade on, and then I tried the 545 breakdown, which should be clear, 545. Not only was it a whole dollar level, but it was a level I liked earlier. So to me, that's confluence. It's like both my qualifiers for a playbook trade for the SPY. We broke above 545.25 as I got out. That being said, with all these topping tail candles here, if we keep struggling with 545, I'd be just trying to short again. I think we might be trying to get long though. At this point, I'd be waiting on the SPY till I see what we do at this chip top area at 545.90s. What other tickers have I been looking at today? Yeah, Palantir, we put the L in Palantir there, that's for sure. But as I always say, even if your P&L is red, you have to be green on the mindset. You got to be bullish, positivity, because again, what else are you bullish on? What are you believing in if not yourself? No one's going to believe in yourself for you. SPY, I like at how you're trickling below that 545 here, but dropped a little bit too low for my like. I don't really want the retest, as I've said on the SPY. Oracle pushing into this 156.90 area, which I like just because of some interactions earlier, but it is, to be fair, higher lows, pushing into VWAP. I don't know if that's smoke that I necessarily want, but it's smoke I am aware of. We've got, this Apple is a skosh devastating here. Look at this short got stopped out, and then Apple comes. It's all good. It happens. This 218.50, we can hold this. That's also kind of an interesting level to me from yesterday. And then you just have to get to 218 because 218, there was a skosh of buying yesterday, if I remember correctly. Potentially a level, but again, I just feel like I keep missing every trade here. There's all these opportunities, and I'm just standing in the market like, what's going on? What am I doing? What is happening? Also, Kyle Burdett, super tight, making me laugh. If you didn't go to Pizza Hut in the 90s with your parents and watch them smoke and drink a pitcher of beer while you got a personal pan pizza, you ain't no trader. We had like a couple Pizza Huts in Winnipeg. They were not a huge thing there. I don't know. That's pretty funny though. Shout out to you, Kyle Burdett.
Big spile, bro.
Yeah, big spile.
By the way, I don't know what the situation was in Winnipeg, but like in Toronto, you could smoke in restaurants to like the mid to late 90s.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know what the situation. Yeah, you weren't around. I forgot. I keep forgetting.
Unfortunately. but yeah, Tesla pushing into wow. Okay, another opportunity missed. Big yikes. Yeah, SPY short missed. GME. What were my levels on this again? Because I think we're coming into one of them. I wrote all these down. Okay, 24.13. That was the level I wrote down. We're getting into it right now. We're 24.17. I like this level because that would be the low. Do I want to short GME right here to flat bottom break? Not necessarily, but you could risk it into 24.25. I'm okay with that. Sharif, I think I'm going to short GME here. I think we're going to put these GME shorts to use.
I like it,
Fairly smallish position just because, like I said, I'm not super proud of the choices that have been made. But if you see stuff you like, you should be trading it. Oracle also rejecting nicely here. And oh my gosh, Palantir, way to wick me out, Palantir. Like, honestly, this is upsetting. Sometimes you have the right idea, but you trade it wrong. But, you know, like something Opie said a while ago that, I think was important. That was just like, I can have the right idea, but if I don't time it right, I'm wrong. That's what happened with me here. I'm paraphrasing. That's what happened with me here in Palantir. That is for sure, to be clear. If we come into 34.11s, that, again, a level I liked earlier, that could maybe be interesting. Okay, GME, though, actually did set up. So we're going to take that short there. Let's see what gets crack-lacking here on the PLT, or I don't even know what stocks I'm talking about now.
Wow.
We just got short GME, Palantir. Let's see if you want to join the partay there. But yeah, GME, let's see if this one can crack lower. That's for sure. How are you doing?
I'm good. I shorted NVIDIA there for about like 25 pennies, super quick. But look at the future just dropped. 105 coming in on NVIDIA. Lots of weakness here through that bottom break at 106. There was umpteen amount of weakness. Once we got to the $0.50, it's all I needed to see in the vigor with which the future was selling off and the Mag 7 as well. So I'm like, yo, this seems like a legitimately weak stock. We saw that 106 break. I punched in nice, happy with this trade. Simultaneously, I also took a long and then flat on Apple, got long there. It was not working out. I'm like, this is going to be a short the pop situation. Got out for a little beak wetter, negligible, then took like a penny loss on the other one. The other name I want to tell you about that you guys are yelling about in the chat, and rightfully so, Donald John Trump is on the way up again, 10 2/3. Knocking on the door of that $20 area. Donald John Trump, DJT, obviously has been trading at lows, de-SPAC lows, obviously, in the last little while. I think it hit 16, 17, something in and around there. It behooves us to bring up the chart on the 5-minute look and do a little bit of technical analysis here. Now, we know the $20 area is the $10 area. It's the whole dollar area, yada, yada, yada. You might find a little bit of resistance around there, but we'll see if it can catch a bid. Now, is $20 an important area? And I would submit to yes. There was a 3-day period, the 28th, the 29th, and yes, the day that comes after that, the 30th. I know, right? And even a little bit of September 3rd. So even to start off the trading month, we were zigging and zagging at that $20 area, a little bit below, a little bit above, yada, 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 without one outlying day over here where we got to 21 and sold off quick as you like. So $20 is a key area of technical resistance, at least locally here on the chart. Above that area, I would say you got to look at 21 only because of what it did here on the 29th, getting up into that $21 area. So if we do clear 20, I'll be looking for 21. There's also more resistance to be had in and around that $21 area. Look at this area crest over here. I know it's hard to see, but if you have it on your own chart, you should be able to see it. This $21 area here on the 29th. And then look at this flat bottom that we held on August 20th and the 21st, all of which came down into 21 1/3 and then found support. What happens to support when it gets breached? It acts as resistance. So say the textbooks. So that's what I'm looking at right now. I'm looking at Donald John Trump trading 10 pennies below that $20 area. Let's see if it can catch a bid. We all know what's coming up tonight at 9 p.m. It is the first of, how many debates did they agree to, Adara?
I think it was 3.
Did they actually execute on 3?
I thought it was 3. I could be wrong about 3.
So the first of what seems to be 3 debates coming up tonight, starting at 9 p.m. So yeah, obviously it stands to reason that DJT gets a little activity prior to that. So if you're into that kind of thing tonight at 9, we shall get the first of these debates. And DJT already front running said action at the moment right there with a nice little pump up on the day. Let's flip back to the Mag 7 and see what's afoot. We're at 18.6, guys, on the future over here. So we wick below 18.6, possibly catching a bid, and we catch 10 points super quick. And by the way, 18.6 or just below, 18.582 is the overnight low. We printed that at about 5:15 or whatever, 5:10 this morning. Let's keep an eye on 18.6. 18.6 gave way here, and we breached the overnight low. I think we flush aggressively, and this is already a big boy flush here. So good look right now on the NQ, and for all those who are short, printing up a storm. Apple is at 218 as well. Keeping an eye on that. Adara, what's your look?
Yeah, I had a quick SPY short I'm really proud of here.
Nice.
I said, like, I'm going to talk about it again. I have 2 playbooks on the SPY, whole dollar shorts, or whole dollar breakdowns, and previous levels I've been watching. SPY, I took short here, 544 breakdown. We quadunk. We just quadunk. So I was really happy with that. I was risking basically into the 5, I was going to risk into like that previous wick there, so 554, 40s, didn't even need to. I basically watched the book. Once we got below 50s, I risked it into 5, like if we got above 550, 350s, I'd get out. So we got above, I got out, and I took 50 cents on that. So happy with that trade. Didn't take it with much size though, just because like I said, this has not been the day of my life, and I didn't want to risk overzealously. Let's see though what we have going on here with the SPY. If we push back above 544 and it does some reversions, I will take a reversion scalp. Pretty much all my SPY trades are going to be scalpy unless I've planned them otherwise, and I generally don't. We are about flat here in GME. We wicked as low as 24, but also we're going to wick over to Moo.
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know I was going to do it. That's all.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, rate cuts are on the horizon, and the market is about to shift. Just look at NVIDIA, down 35% one moment, then bouncing back the next. To protect your gains, you need Moomoo's trailing stop orders. Partnered with NASDAQ, Moomoo is your top investing app. Unlike the typical stop orders, ours moves up as your stock rises, locking in profits before a drop. And it works for options too. Plus, enjoy 0 commissions, 0 contract fees, 8.1 APY on uninvested cash, and 15 free stocks. Don't miss out. Check the link in the description or scan the QR code on your screen. Shout out to the good folks there at Moomoo. I'll take 15 stocks a dare. I'll take 8.1% API. I just want to shout out Moomoo here because on my money with IBKR, I get 6 and change. This is 8.1, so that's sizable difference there, especially in a decreasing rate environment. I know we haven't got those rate cuts yet, but we're pricing in 1% by the end of the year. And if Moomoo wants to ante up 8%, well, whew, I'll say yes to that. So here's a look right now to digress a little bit on Donald John Trump finding resistance, Fabian, at that $20 area and coming back in to what looks to be possibly the 10 exponential on the 5. Let me show you exactly what I'm looking at here because I'm very, very interested in trading Donald John Trump if it does set up appropriately. And the first level I'm going to be looking at to find that first level of support, and it may not come into that, is this 50 area. That's a 10 exponential. I'm very cognizant of this area over here at 19 and a third. Couple of topping tail candles in there. I'm not really sure what to make of that. Right now, we're at 19 and 2/3. And for whatever reason, we've got stuck on that level a little bit. Or are we just not updating here on Donald John Trump? So let's put it on the side chart. Yes, we are not updating. That's the problem. And now we are. So that's good. So anyway, 1950 is what I'm looking at on DJT to possibly get long there. That's a 10 exponential on the 5. I won't be getting in with a resting order. I'll be looking to see if we hold up there.
Yeah, so I'm still playing the game with GameStop. We added, once we got into that 24.03s area, just kind of right above 24s, that was a planned add. And now we are planning on exiting. Where are we exiting, you may ask? So the level I wrote down was 23.85. Is that optimistic? For sure, potentially. So what we're going to do is we're going to look here, see if there's any other levels we could potentially get some out. And it looks like pretty much all those levels have already happened. Even on the 1 minute chart, we had that big move down. You know what we're going to do there? I like this 23.90s. We're going to get some out. Let's get out 30% of the position. No, sorry, 40%. 23. We'll do 23.91s. Let's do that. So because again, we're trading here for P&L. We're not trading for P&L. We're trading for progress and learning, which is, I guess, a different kind of P&L. I'm going to get fancy with it. In terms of how I'm moving my stops, like I said, one of the biggest things I'm working on is moving your stops while you are in the money. That is how you get messed up on trades like Palantir. But what you do, yes, what I'm doing here is prior bar highs on the 1 minute chart. So this 2405 is it right now. It looks like we're basically there. I want to see what we do here on the ask because we tried to pop up above that. You know what? Popping above this level, we're going to get out here. We just popped back below in the bid. Like I said, a lot of my stops are going to be more eyeballed at times just because the way the trading is, I do tend to trust the book a lot. So I want to see what I see in the book. I'm not seeing a ton of strength at this 2405 in the book. Let's see what occurs. Again, not super proud of what I've been doing trade-wise today with the exit rules and everything, but that's what you learn and grow every single day. That's what we were here for at Trader TV Live. We're here to learn. We're here to grow. We're not going to be perfect every single day. We're going to try to get better, try to improve. And you can't improve if you're not believing in yourself. That's why I'm trying to keep the mental very positive, even though, some of the trades have not necessarily been the best in the world today. But I am proud of my call on the SPY. That 544, I said if we break back above 544, I think this could be bullish, could be change of the tides. You know what SPY does? It does not break back below 544. It breaks to the downside. Palantir's dumping. Says, okay, wow, thank you, OB, for letting us know. Palantir's dumping into that, okay, past below that 80s level, now coming right back up though. We're trying to, we're gonna take a look here at PLTR, see if there's any news here on the Twitter webs, see if anyone's talking about this name. I'm not seeing it, there are lots of tweets about it, not seeing any news on it though, to explain that drop, though it is in fact dumping. Thank you for letting us know about that, OB. This 80s, though, we're still trying to bounce off that 80s, that 3380s. Like, look at this here on the book. This is quite the bounce here on PLTR. 34, wow, this 34 is this is pretty intense, guys. You know what I'd like to see is if we can get to 3411s and reject, that level has been pretty key. I'm not getting involved in Palantir right now. I think that thing needs to figure out what exactly it would like to do with its life at this moment. That is quite the move, though, to the downside. I'm not seeing any news on this Palantir. If anyone is, let me know. I'm seeing lots of tweets here. Apparently, Peter Thiel is selling $1 billion of Palantir. So that would explain that. That makes sense. I've not seen anything on that, so I don't want to confirm, but apparently he's selling. Well, that's what people are saying he's selling. I'm not seeing any confirmation. Oh, you're seeing
Here it is. Thank you. There, great call out there, Adara. Palantir chairman Peter Thiel to sell up to $1 billion of stock, reports the Dow Jones Global News, and then being recirculated here by Barron's. That was from today. It's a 10th date right there.
What? Pardon? Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Just wanted to remind you, that's all.
Thank you.
This is an interesting look here on PLTR. You saw the OB. He is the one, Knob, trading this with the Katina man today. So we're going to load this bad boy. The OB was short 34.55 for those who want to look at OB's trades and see what he was looking at there. Let's pull up PLTR. We are now knocking on the door of 34, Darren. We did dip. Even albeit very briefly into that 70 penny area, right around $0.75. Ironically enough, that was the area trough. Funny enough, got bought up there like very aggressively, and now we're back above $34 here on PLTR, down 1.7, excuse me. But this is after multiple days of greenery on PLTR after its addition into the S&P 500 yesterday, with Dell also being re-added after its exclusion, I think in 04 or 05, something like that. Anyway, in any event, PLTR doing the dance right now at the whole dollar. Oh, what'd you say the size was on that on the flush? You just told me the wattage there on the flush. What did you say then? It dropped 40 pennies. My mistake. Thanks, Ob. Yeah, well, essentially because it was at 34.40. Dipped in more, actually. Obed dropped a hot 70 pennies there at the low. But right now, as we talked about, doing the little dance there with that $34 level. So we'll keep our eye on PLTR to see if it can defend 34. It looks like it is for the moment. We'll have to see how long that lasts as the news circulates there. I'm involved in AAPL. And so this one, I'm going to get out of this one completely if it gets into that $1.20 area. So we were taking... What's going on, guys?
Hi, Obie's hand.
Oh, hi, Brendo. I didn't expect that response from him. That's why. So we're looking, if I could show the chart, baby. I'm long at, where am I? $1.30. We're in $1.25. I was looking for a hold off the volume weighted average price on AILE. We did have that big boy drop from $1.59 back into $1.25. We're at VWAP for all intents and purposes. Get it, Adara. And so we're seeing, basically, this is where I'm going to draw my line in the sand. The bottom end of this bottoming tail candle, if we breach that, it's over. I was looking for a move back up. We don't get it. That's all good. AILE, Adara, tell us all about it.
Yeah, so I was just about to go for a walk to just to, kind of wake up and everything. And then I'm still my GME, so I was like, we'll wait for GME. I don't know what GME is going to do. We get our first peak wetter here, 2390s, then we drop. So I was like, okay, I'll get out if we break back above 2390s. I got out part of it, previous low of day here, 2380s. Then, you know, what we do here is we actually push lower. Current low of day here, 2375s. I'm going to be doing prior bar high as my stop at this point on the 1 minute chart. So if we get above 80, at this point 86s, I shall be leaving. But man, this has been fun. I have 40% of this position left, and I'm really willing to just kind of let this ride, Sharif. We're going to increase some volume to the downside on the 1 minute. I love this look. Shout out to Roaring Kitty. I like the stock. Current now with that new 1 minute meow. Did you say meow?
Yes.
Yeah, because I just heard the meow. Yeah. But yeah, so that interesting little look there. I am meowing to the downside. Yeah, as I said, you know, if I short this, he's gonna get Andrew left in the dust there. Shout out to Citron. I'm not too sour about this. I know I was a little bit, you know, like, whoa, what was me? Earlier today, the trades were not always a vibe. We're currently 30 cents in the money on GME. Like, GME, new low of day here. Let's see what we do on the game stop at 1. I've noticed these 10-cent levels have been pretty key. So I think if we break 2370s, that's actually gonna be pretty dope. So, you know, we're gonna get half of the remaining position out of 2371s. We're gonna save the rest for the dream. And we're gonna see what else happens here on this market. Sharif, this has been such a wild day. Wow, everything kind of popping around here. But you know what actually is not done that much? Name that I was involved in earlier, and as I mentioned earlier, not to great effect, Oracle. This thing has range. I still think if we break 150, okay, 156.50, Oracle, are you there, Oracle? 156.50 could be an interesting level here if we break it. But again, I did not trade this one to great effect earlier. So, and again, we just bounced. So I'm gonna let Oracle be. We're gonna see if we can get our GameStop, the position, the beak wetter here. I'm gonna use the beak wet animation.
There it is.
So yeah, we will be going for a walk soon, as you can tell. It's Adara's tired trading hours. Shout out to Drake and the scary hours. But financial juice also, I'm just pulling up here because we do have a 1 minute bond. No, we have a 1 p.m. bond auction here. And it's 3-year note. So let's take a look at Gumme, see how that went down. Okay, pushing above here, back into 80s. We're gonna be getting out here. The whole position, 77, well, not the whole. So 77s, pleased as punch with that trade. You know, that's why the where's the next trade mindset is so important. I would have shout out Obi for that because you know, you're not going to win everything. It's about how you get back up because you are going to fall. But as Cardi B says, a full 9 times, get up 10. GME was a nice little trade. And, Avgo. Before I Avgo for some coffee, by the way, Sharif, would you like anything?
Oh, no, thank you, Darren.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Obi, do you want any coffee or anything? Okay, he's good. So was that a yes or a you're good? It was a you're good. Okay, perfect. I just want to make sure. So, before I Avgo for that, Avgo, oh my gosh, AVGO.
Get it, Adara.
So this one I've been trading since earnings, since day 3 earnings, and honestly, I just realized I really like trading this ticker because it's kind of spready, and it's fun, and it moves basically every day with volume. So I want to see what this does at VWAP when I return from the caffeination station. It's 144.40. We're wicking. We're Waka Flocka flaming. We're I don't know. There's things happening here. I would like all of the smoke. Depending on what we do here at 144.40s. If we push above, I'd like to see what we do into 145s. If we break below, I would like to short this into 143.80s. But I don't have any opinions yet. I want to see how it sets up. GME back below 70s. I'm happy I had shorts on that. I have no other plans for Gumme at this point, though. To be fair, also, I did trade GME short earlier. Every time I trade GME, I want to clarify, I am not a bear. I had a long earlier, got out break even, ended up profiting on the short. Where's the next trade? Right now, it's to Coffee Land. How are you doing over here?
I'm in a couple of trades. We're in Donald John Trump for the 20 exponential hold. We're going to give this one a very tight stop. If it bounces here, it bounces. It didn't bounce off the 10. So I'm just trying this for the sake of just involving myself in DJT. We're taking small size here at the level. No 20 exponential bounce. Gone, okay? In this other trade as well, AILE, it did we'll see. We're 3 pennies out of the money on this one. It did hold generally that $1.20. And what kept me positive about this bad boy is when it got into that $1.20, it was met with a wall of buying. So there was a lot of bids at that 1 1/5. We'll see if it can weasel its way back near the highs. It's below VWAP, but generally holding at the area now back into $1.26 there on AILE. Very strong name on the day, 75 some odd percent. Let's put some respect on this one's name. But look, the trend's gone. It's gone. That's the look there. So if we can get anything above this 1 1/3 area, I think we get back into the good side of the trend with higher highs. We'll see if that manifests or not. The Donald John Trump, where are we? We're in the money on it, but it's nothing to write home about. I'd like to wet my beak around in the mid-40s. We're long 27s. If it doesn't hold, it doesn't hold. Simple as that. Now it's knocking on the door of my area, but it is being met with some sellings there. Again, DJT strong on the day, likely as a result of the the debate, the first of what seems to be a few debates. We'll see if that ends up happening or not. But that's scheduled for tonight at 9. And I got to tell you, I'm likely going to come to work a little bit tired tomorrow. I'm going to stay up for this one all the way through. I want to hear exactly what's being said and how it's being said. I guess maybe that's the look there. So holding on to AILE, small cap gapper, Donald John Trump. I'm in as well because of the obvious catalyst. But I see a new entrant on or in the world of small cap gappers. It goes by the ticker QH. And oh boy, we got to do that because the man's he's on the stage right now. So we got to pay homage to the oh boy man himself. Up 187% right now is QH. Halted at 94 pennies, sub $1 stock. So let's put in the ticker for this bad boy and have a look at the deets. Let me give you all the information we need on QH so we can make informed trading decisions. Sub 5 million float, 1 3/4% is the short float on this one. Does it have a catalyst? I don't actually see one. I'm looking, did this have a catalyst yesterday? The answer is no. So I don't know why this one's moving. Always a little bit suspicious when you don't know why something is moving, but the technical break is real. It's fast and furious, and it is up into that 94 penny area. Let me tell you when this bad boy halted. Give me a sec here, and if there is the theoretical auction price, I'll tell you as well. So this one halted. Let's go. Well, this one halted. Oh, it's open. So let's go back to QH now as it is open. Up into 99 it goes, does knock on the door of that dollar. There is a different trade to be had here once a dollar is taken on a permanent basis. Now, sometimes determining whether it's been taken or not is a bit bamboozling in and of itself because it can get to that $1.10 and then you can get a V-shaped retracement right below $1. So it's, it's by no means the end of the game just because it took $1. So it's up 193% here. Let's put some respect on this one's name. Good look right now for QH. We're going to pack our patience and see what's afoot there. Donald John Trump not doing anything and not filling me, but also not breaching this area consolidation. So we'll keep a look there. This is what I was worried about on AILE. Lower highs. This is a concern. So I'm looking for a break of that $1.33. Reason is I need that break of $1.33 because I need that consistent trend to come back into effect of higher highs and higher lows. I'm not interested in trading this as a range. So at least not right now. Maybe if it sets up differently. So AILE on watch as well. Let's look over here, take off Palantir and put in QH so we can follow this bad boy. Let me just remove this from my side chart. There we go. So QH still not able to take $1 Adara, but it's up aggressively. I want to see what it does at this 82 penny area. We had an area crest there that we rejected off and then moved back into that 2/3 of a dollar. We get into 82 pennies. I think it sets up a little bit differently.
Yeah, thank you very much for going over, for taking over for me there, Sharif. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I'm in Palantir right now. Again, I want to shout out Obi's Palantir trade there. Dope look. Palantir, look at it rejecting, and I loved this level yesterday. Find it really interesting again today. Sharif and I both mentioned it yesterday, 34.11s on Palantir. Now, I don't like my entry. What I should have done was waited for it to get to that 34.11s. Before shorting, I'm basically risking it into 34.11s. So we'll see if the strategy works out. Either way, happy with what I'm risking and all that jazz there. I will very much be taking some profit here. Half the position at this 33.75s area, that 33, like this kind of trophy area. I don't know if we'll get there. And honestly, I don't know how much confidence I have in this trade, just because, like I said, my read on Palantir has been a little un-Palan-clear today. You know what I mean? Twice here, I had the right direction, but I didn't give myself enough room. The long here, and then if you look at this short, this is a heartbreaker. It gets like a cent back above my stop here, and then we get the quaduk. And that happens sometimes. You're going to get the timing wrong. You just got to stay focused. Right now, for me, the fact that Palantir really can't get that much off the schneid, shout out to Neil, hopefully he is feeling better, at the 34 is giving me a little bit of hope. I don't want to say hope because we don't have hopium in these parts, but it's making me feel like this trade is all right. I don't really have any other ideas to add unless we get below 90s. That was a bit of a kind of area here of interaction, but that would have to be like a pretty hard 90s break. We'll see what we do. Right now, I'm just chilling in my PLTR, and we're going to see if this is going to be a PWTR for me, which should be my first on this stock today. To be clear, some of these were like, this was basically a break even, so it's like, it is what it is, but you just want to be getting better every day. GME, okay, PLTR GME is not a ticker, Dara. Also, guys, make sure you vote for your tickers, whatever ticker you want Sean and Aobi to look at there. Let us know, exclamation point, join, space, $, whatever ticker. Broadcom shot up while I was on my little walk, so that is over. Oracle back above back above VWAP here. Nice little recovery for that one, so that could be a possibility. But GME, look at this one continuing to flush to the downside. Happy with that trade. We did not break a new low of day here. He's continuing to hang out around that 2370 level. I'm going to wait for this unless it sets up. I don't want to get back involved just for the sake of getting back involved. But PLTR, let's see how this 90s breakdown goes, because I will be adding not that many shares. I don't want as large of a position as I had earlier. Just again, you have to trade based on your level of confidence. I've talked about my tired trade rules as well. To be clear, to be Palan clear, I did have previous levels on the stock, which is why I was comfortable taking it. But look, we get to 91s. And we try to get back. Oh, okay, they're below. Let's see if we can add here at 89s. That was a bit of an interesting level earlier. We're going to add, we'll add this many shares. I'm cool with that. So let's see what happens here in P to the L to the T to the R if we can get added at 89s. Not sure if we will. Maybe 88s was going to be the level. Shout out to Sharif, because I know earlier Sean and Obi were talking about like psychological levels, like 42s, 88s. I know you like 25s, all that stuff, right? So kind of interesting look. We didn't get our Palantir ad. That's okay. Palantir, you want to flush? I'll still be pleased as punch with you. I'm not canceling the ad. I think we could wick back up into it, depending. But yeah, we'll see what happens here. PLTR, at this point, I am risking into break even, which is going to be 34s. Wow, that 89 level must have been a good call, because we cannot even, clearly some resistance. We can't even get back above it. Let's see what happens here. I'm going to be kind of staying calm, or staying as calm as I normally stay. I'm a little bit higher energy. We'll see what we do here into this 70s level. Once we break below 80s, we're going to switch to prior bar high as my stop here. Currently, again, we got short here, 34s, currently drifting below this pretty key area for me, 33.78. Let's see what we do here, Sharif, because this is getting pretty spicy here on PLTR. How are you're trading spicy garlic aioli and the DJT over here.
Oh, I just got stopped out at DJT. Sadly, it's okay. It's not your fault. Yeah, setting up here. We're gonna look for a VWAP touch. I tried to front run it at the 20. That was not the move. I'm gonna set up for something different. There seems to be more interaction here with the 19 level than with the area where I got in. I tried to front run it at the top end of the range. It told me, Sharif, I don't care about you front running. I don't care about your levels. I'm gonna print where I want to print. But this is a trade I'm happy with. I've been trading Amazon today. Don't know why. 2 longs and a short, both profitable. This one caught a bid right at that 177.5 when the future bounced off 19.6. So I punched in, took 30 quick pennies, just like that on AMZN as we got right into VWAP. I got out specifically at the 40 penny level because of the volume weighted average price, knowing that it would likely, at least momentarily maybe, encounter resistance there, and I didn't want any the retracement. So if it does take VWAP on a permanent basis, on a closing basis, what I mean, I'll go long on Amazon. I feel that Amazon, the strongest of the Mag 7 right now, and that is accurate technically because Tesla now has given up a lot of what it had earlier. 226.40 HOD on Tesla. We're printing 219s and about to break it. So Tesla's given everything, a lot of it back. Amazon, not so much. So if the future does catch a bid, I want to see what the Zon does right now. but with resistance at 178.40. So sadly, got stopped at a DJT, literally bottom wick. So disappointed about that. But if it does set up again, I know that it's not over for DJT, whether to the long side or the short side. I'll get in this again. I have no qualms with that. 6 1/3% in the green today. Let's put some respect on this one's name. AILE. I'm happy I held on to this one, baby, but we're right back at the area that we rejected last time, and that's that 130, 131. Look at the ask getting stacked. I had to look at the camera when I did that too, in case. Shout out to Big Smile. Yeah, so what I'm looking for, and I made this clear earlier, I need my higher highs and higher lows. I need that trend to the upside with AILE. That comes here if we break this 1 1/3 level, but we seem to keep getting met with a wall of sellers at that 1 1/3. So I'm in the money on them in 3 whole pennies in the money. I'd like to run it up a little bit more, Dara. There seems to be likely resistance at a $1.35, but I think if we catch a bid and really catch a bid, we break through that $1.35 quick as you like. I'm watching Donald John Trump put in 2 bottoming tails now on the 5. What I'm looking at the side screen is the 5. So I'd like to be able to wet my beak on some profits on DJT now that I'm negative on it, right? So I don't want to call it revenge or anything like that. That's not the look. But hey, man, I literally got out bottom wick. That's kind of frustrating. I had to draw my line in the sand somewhere, but this one looks like it might be curling up. I don't want to call it quite yet, but if this starts curling right back up, I'm going to get into this on the long side. And then maybe when the Katina man returns from his walk and talk, we'll see if we can get some shorts on it, depending on how much they are, of course. So that's going to be there. Shout out to Real Dang Trading. That's the QR code that you scan if you want to become part of the campus program. Yes, we are a prop firm and we are looking to expand. So if you're in Canada, that's a QR code you scan right there. And it was a perfect segue because they give very, very cheap shorts. And for the ones that you pay for, that's it. And usually, for most stocks, you don't pay for them. Donald John Trump is on the way up again. Here we go. Breaching now the previous 5-minute candles high, but still south of the 10 exponential on the 5. I need more confirmation that this breaks. We're going to pack our patience. Back to AILE. I'm going to have to trade these fast. I'm sorry. It did wick up right there. Where the hell did it go? Got up to what, 35s or 34s? Because I was waiting at 35. It got up into 35. It didn't cross, sadly. That's where my beak wetter is hanging out at 35. But we did breach that third of $1. So I'm a little motivated by this. We'll see if we can wet our beak. This is a bit of a bigger position, obviously, because it's a dollar stock. So that's a look there. We'll see exactly what we get here with AILE. We'll see if it can retake that level. Back to Donald John Trump as it now weasels its way into that third of $1. I'm very disappointed in how I traded this one. It's the only negative stock I have on the day, and there it goes. Sorry, Adara, I apologize about that. I know that startles you, but yeah, whatever. I'm sorry.
You were startled.
Yeah,
okay.
I was startled by the price action on DJT. So I'm keeping my eye on this one. I definitely want to get long here, Adara, if it starts curling back up again.
Yeah, so the story of my life has been what is the risk management? And by that, I don't even mean like I'm giving things too much. I mean, it's just I need to be planning it better. I ended up getting out of the first Palantir short here just because we pushed back above 90s. I don't love the management, but trying to learn from it. Yeah, I'm shouting. I want to shout out Obi again because he's very excited about his PLTR trade, as he should be. You know what, Sharif? I aspire to be as excited about my PLTR trade as he is about his. That was an awesome look here. But this PLTR, I got short again through 33.90s or 89s because I found that 90 break to be pretty pivotal. We got almost back. Up here into 34s. We couldn't. We broke back below 90s. I got back on the short, same size, risking into 34s. I will be adding actually here if we get nicely below 80s, which I know is kind of risky. I'm aware of that. I'm cognizant of that. Then what I'll be doing here is basically reassessing once we have that ad. What I likely will do is risk it into just move it down about 5 pennies here, that 33.95s. We'll see what happens if and when we add. But right now, we're trying to be straight chilling over here. We're not straight chilling. I know I'm a little high energy, so I guess we're never really straight chilling. But these markets do keep me energized. They fire me up. And if there's any stocks firing you up, then anything that's giving you a bee in your bonnet or making you as excited as Obi was just there with Sean, let us know in the chat. Maybe you want to hear about that awesome PLTR trade. Maybe you want to hear about Sean's Zon trades. Also shout out to your Zon trade.
Appreciate you, Adara.
Sharif there. So whatever Bezos you're thinking here, get in the chat, let us know, exclamation point, join space, $, whatever ticker. Let us know what you're feeling confident about or what you'd like to feel more confident about. Palantir, I'm going to be chilling in. Also, GME, which again, shout out to Real Trading, because those shorts, the cost for that, if you get 1,000 shares, it is going to be $1.20. That is a great look for GME shorts here. Currently, GME, making a new low of day, continuing to push lower. I want to clarify, both the longs and the shorts were levels that I liked earlier. I'm not getting back in unless I see levels like that set up, so I won't be getting involved. And to clarify, I'm not getting long in this or shorting again until I see what we do with 24s. So that's the look on GME. I don't want to get involved for the sake of getting involved. PLTR, keep getting lower here. I don't want to keep Alex carping on that name, though. Oracle. Oracle. What are you? Oh, that was aggressive. Okay, Oracle, we're getting short. 49s, we're going to do that. Okay, pretty small position. We're going to be risking this here into 75s, which was a bit of an area earlier. Again, the chances of me getting filled here, pretty infinitesimal because it should have been a lot speedier about that. Palantir, keep doing your thing, 21. I'm chill with that. But basically why I like Oracle, look, I wanted this flat bottom break. I liked it earlier. Did not manage appropriately. As I said, it was a big yikes moment. It was a bit of a setback. I was not proud of what happened there. But you always have to be green positivity, as I always say. And I know that can sound a little bit trite. It can sound a little bit, I don't know. It can sound a lot of ways, but you have to do what works for you. And again, if you don't believe in yourself, who's going to believe in you? I do say that. I do mean that every time I say it. So I want to shout out this chat because...
My mom believes in me, Adele.
Pardon?
My mom believes in me.
I'm very happy for that. I mean, because you believe in... Well, no, I guess your mom believes in you no matter what. But yeah, either shout out to your mom, I guess. We're going to do all the shout outs over here. But yeah, Oracle right now, Palantir basically flat on this. I would like to see it continue to push lower. I'm going to let this chill. Oracle, if you want to have me, let me know. It'd be really fun to be in both Oracle and Palantir at the same time. I'd feel like that dude in Lord of the Rings with like the big crystal ball. That guy, the Saruman dude. Because I'd be having my Oracle and my Palantir. I'm definitely not getting this short. And again, Oracle being really spicy around 156. So I'm not even really sure I want it at this point. I don't want to get short 120, 56, 25s either, because I feel like this is a level where things could get a little bit spicy. We're going to right now probably cancel this order, focus on Palantir, but just know I'm still looking at Oracle. Oracle, no, I'm still looking at you. And I want to hear how you aggressively punch in there.
I just wet my beak on AILE. I'm going to do the lesson in a hot second. Obviously, no lesson of the day today with Neil. He is out sick. The Neilage, if he's back tomorrow, will recommence, I guess, at noon hour tomorrow. So we wish Neil, obviously, a speedy recovery and hope he feels a little bit better. He was a little bit under the weather yesterday, so I'm not entirely surprised. All right, I just got out here. I have this is a bit of a bigger position, so we're gonna look to wet our beak at multiple levels. The stop is in play. Let me just adjust set stop though, now that we've wet our beak on those levels. So we gotta cancel all these stop orders over here. And that, look, the stop is gonna be in the same place, right? We're gonna keep it right in the same place, just for less shareage there, and there it is. Now we're good to go there. So let's start the lesson of the day. We are talking about the fan principle, guys, and essentially what that is, it's just another way of being able to gauge the acceleration or deceleration of the trend. So let's get right to it and start the lesson of the day. So by the end of this lesson, we should be able to understand exactly how to apply the fan principle in real-world trading scenarios, as discussed by John J. Murphy in his book, Technical Analysis of the Financial Markets, off which this lesson is based. So as we typically do, let's introduce the topic de novo for those who have never, encountered this thing before. So the fan principle is a concept, essentially, that helps traders analyze market trends and potential market reversals. How does it do it? It revolves around the idea that trends don't reverse all at once, but rather in stages often delineated by a series of lower trend lines. Again, this is not a hard and fast rules. There are trends that turn around 180 degrees on news catalysts. We're talking about the ones that don't, the ones that lose trend incrementally. That's what we're focusing on today. As the trend weakens, the slope of the trend lines becomes less and less steep, creating a fan-like appearance on the chart, and I'll show you what it is in a minute. So the technical definition, if you really want to get down to the crux of it, of the fan principle, it basically refers to a sequence of progressively flatter trend lines drawn on a price chart, signifying the gradual weakening of the trend. And its purpose is to help traders identify when a trend might reverse, as well as providing them with possible entry and exit points in the market. So that's a look there. That's what the crux of the whole principle is. Now, let's talk about some of the key characteristics that comprise or that make up the fan principle. I'll submit to you that it's composed of 3 trend lines. The first trend line represents the steepest part of the trend. You know, this is the one that's going to be moving up and to the right the most aggressively. Then the second trend line is drawn when the price breaks the first trend line and is less steep when drawn. The third trend line obviously is derivative of the second. If the second trend line is broken, a third and even flatter trend line is drawn. And what we're looking for here is a gradual reversal of the trend. Rather than a sharp reversal, the market undergoes gradual transition as each trend line is broken successively. The slope flattens with each successive line, showing the decreasing momentum of the prevailing trend. And it appears like a fan because when viewed on the chart, the sequence of the trend lines creates a visual effect similar to a fan. This is what I'm talking about right here. So this is the bull case, right? Where we're moving up and to the right. You'll see the first trend line over here captures all the lows of the previous trend. But then at this intersection over here, trend line number 1 gets breached, and you need to redraw the trend line. You don't predict that it's going to stop here. You draw it once it bounces off that area. But as you can see, trend line number 2 initially acts as a level of support, but then it acts as a resistance. So it's incumbent upon me to tell you, extend your trend lines as far out as your software will allow you to do it. You never know when that price action is going to come back up into that trend line, and use it as resistance as opposed to support, which was previously its use. So there is the breach of trend line number 1, comes up into trend line number 2 after bouncing off 3, and then you get the eventual breach of 3. The same case can be made for the bear case. We just showed you the bull case. The bear case, equally as applicable. You draw the initial trend line number 1, the most aggressive of the angles, right? And then your number 2, once number 1 gets breached, and then number 3, once number 2 gets breached. Super simple. And then the idea is once 3 is done, 3 gets breached, then you're looking. You should be on the lookout. I'm not saying it's going to happen. You should be on the lookout for that possible reversal. And here's how it looks in real life. So this is the Russ back from August 97 to February of 98. It peaked out there at 495. Can't believe the Russ was trading at 495. By the way, anybody who's wondering, the Russ is at 20,079 right now, but this is obviously 98. And you draw the first trend line there. It gets breached over here, rejects off number 2. But you haven't drawn number 2 yet. You draw number 2 after the price action holds up there. You can't predict where it's going to hold up. It's not a speed line where we're predicting with 33 and 66% retracements. These are drawn ex post facto, after the fact, okay? So this is number 2, and then number 3 is drawn once number 2 gets breached, and then 3 gets breached, and we have an all-out trend reversal. No more down move. We're looking back, as you can see here, near those highs that we put in late October at around early March, late Feb. So that's a look there. That's what we're talking about, fan lines, and obviously it kind of looks like a fan there, like a churchgoer, like an old lady at the church fanning herself. A lot of those at my church. Lots. There really is.
I think there's a lot of those and a lot of, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Pretty universal.
Fair enough, yeah. So what are the practical applications? How can we use this every day for trading? I would submit to you this is a better tool to use for swing rather than intraday trading, but you do as you like. You can acclimate it to however you want. So the first and the foremost is identifying trend reversals, the first practical application. So traders use the fan principle to detect when a strong trend is losing its momentum. For instance, if a steep trend starts breaking its first trend line, it signals a weakening in the trend. When it breaks the second, traders should consider that the uptrend may be ending. So keep your eye out on that. Then timing for entry and exit points, also another practical use for these fan lines. So the fan principle helps traders time their trades by recognizing when the trend has weakened enough to make an entry. in the case of a reversal, or to exit altogether to avoid losses as the trend dies. So timing, entry and exits. Last but not least, adjusting your stops, right? As each trend line is broken, traders can adjust their stop loss levels, I should say, to protect themselves against further downside risk. So 3 practical applications that you can use for these fan lines. And so combining the fan lines with other technicals is your best move. As we've always said, don't rely solely on one indicator, one level. Look for confirmation and take the balance of the evidence. Right? There you go. Thanks, Adara. And then make your decision based on all that collected information. So to do that, you've got to use it with other technicals. So I'm going to suggest to you, one of the technicals you can use is the relative strength index, or RSI for short. So here's the move. If the price breaks the first trend line on the fans, right, and the RSI is still showing an overbought condition, it strengthens the case for a potential reversal. So what you're looking for here is trend line number 1 breached, but you're still getting a 70 or overprint on the RSI, still not out of that overbought territory. So if that's the case, look for possibly here a reversal. Doesn't mean it's going to manifest. The other one you can use it with, or the other ones, because there's more of these, moving averages, especially that 50-day, that 200-day that's used by a lot of eyes and a lot of traders. They can serve as additional support and resistance, and here's how you use it. If the price breaks a trend line within the fan principle and simultaneously crosses a key moving average, like a 50, the 200, as we suggested, it serves as further confirmation of the weakening trend. So you're looking for that gnarly moving average crossover to go with the trend line breach. And then there's also MACD, right? Moving average convergence divergence. In this case, here's what you're looking for. If the MACD line, we know there's 2 lines on the MACD. One's a signal line, one's a MACD line. The one that moves more is the MACD line. The one that moves less is a signal line. If the MACD line crosses below, so a bearish crossover below the signal line at the same time that the price is breaching that second or third fan line, it adds weight to the argument that there could be a trend reversal in the works, so keep a lookout for that. And last but not least, volume, very important. If a break in the trend line, one of the trend lines, doesn't say which, is accompanied by higher than normal trading volume, it could strengthen the case for a downward trend. And typically what I'm asked in these cases is what counts as above average volume, and my submission to that would be look at the volume candles surrounding the one that you're currently in. Is the one that you're in right now, or the one that you're analyzing, above average or below average? A cursory visual view should give you the answer to that, but zoom out so you can get a bigger sample size. So just to take away, or just to summarize everything that we've kind of absorbed today, the fan principle provides a structured way of analyzing trend weakening as well as reversals. It also helps traders anticipate those trend reversals by observing a series of progressively flatter trend lines, and last but not least, by combining the fan principle with other technicals like the RSI or the MACD, volume, etc. You can certainly improve your timing as well as your decision-making skills in this market, Adara.
Yeah, I mean, decision-making skills in this market, always you want to improve.
Certainly.
With that in mind, I am not touching Palantir anymore. I don't trust my read on this stock. To be clear, I had one good trade on it, but it's just, I don't know why I keep trying to hammer this thing to a pulp. So I was in the short, I flipped long because I was like, oh, we're breaking above 34. Why? Wait till you get to that level you actually like it there, 34.10. Anyways, again, manage it appropriately. We kind of broke below that little trough. I got out, but that's not the point. The point is real management would have been not getting to that in the first place. SPY, I got out of this basically flat here. I got long at that 554.75 because I really liked how we were holding this level. We never broke above 545. Started seeing lower highs. I said, Adara, if you just keep seeing these lower highs, get out flat. I did. I am not getting back on this long until I see it break above 545. To be clear, I don't think it's a short yet. We are holding really great support here at 554.60s. I was pressing into 554.50s. SPY didn't even SPY anywhere near that level. It didn't even give it a glance. But also, we're going to have to take a moment here, I believe, to glance over at Trade the Pool, because we're going to pull this up here. This is correct. The Becoming a funded trader means trading with a firm's money instead of your own, which we're very grateful to do here. At Trade the Pool, you first complete an evaluation by hitting profit targets while managing risk. Once you pass, you get access to up to $260,000 in buying power. You get to keep up to 80% of your profits, and the firm covers the risks. It's the perfect way to trade big without risking your own funds. Ready to become a funded trader? Join Trade the Pool. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description. Shout out to Trade the Pool. So shout out to the SPY here. Finally breaking that 545. Let's see if we can hold above 545 if it can. I'm getting long 545. I'm risking it to 544.75s. But that was kind of anemic. I don't like that. Like I said, no short for me in the SPY until and unless we break below 544.50s. That is a level to me that is of definitely of interest. So we're going to wait. We're going to watch and see what occurs here. Right now, I still think it's likely going to be long. Some confluence for that with the Qs as well. So let's see. And again, Qs and SPY, not always going to be moving in tandem. But sometimes I've noticed you can find, based on how you look at them, you find kind of similar patterns. As we push above here, we're going to be getting long here. Let's see if we can get filled on the SPY. I'm not sure. I should have been a little bit more aggressive. Like I said, I'm still trying to find ways to get the order types where you can like just have it waiting above and then it gets wicked in. I need to get more familiar with my order system. But also, guys, we have 10 minutes until the bond auction, the 3-year note. And then we also have an hour till the segment that is brought to you by Real Trading, our audience segment. Because if you're like, hey, I'm wondering, I want to hear about Obi's awesome Palantir trade, you definitely do. Or you're like, hey, I want to know, about all these other tickers. What did Sean do with Amazon? What about Amazon? Any ticker you want to look at there, let us know in the chat. Exclamation point, join, space, $, that ticker. You can get the Seanfidence and the Obi Wanfidence for your ticker of choice. Let's see if this market can push upside. We did get filled here. Like I said, I'm risking 25 cents. I want to see what we do here at 544.75. This actually does have confluence between my two SPY playbooks. It's a whole dollar breakout. And it's also a level I looked at previously. So let's see what we get here on SPY. We won't get upset. We'll stay. We're going to be taking out some profits here as we get to 545.60 because that is certainly a level of interaction earlier. And I would like, not like that smoke, gummy might be giving me some opportunities here as well, Sharif, because I said with GME, to be clear, I was watching this. I like these. I didn't mention this, but I like these bottoming tail candles here that at that 2370. We're pushing higher. If we break above 24, I'm actually really interested in that. And I'll risk getting to 2390s. That has been a level of interest. So we'll see what goes on here. Right now, basically flat on the SPY. We're going to keep spying that. We're going to keep spying GME here as well. Putting up the book for GME where I used to put my Tesla book, but I haven't been trading that much Tesla lately. So Tesla, speaking of Tesla, before I switch it off to you, Tesla did a bit of a double bottom that I think we should maybe talk about here at 219. So double bottom here. Lots of stuff curling back up. IWM curling up. AVGO, higher highs, higher lows. SPY curling higher. Tesla double bottoming at 219. Now trying to do something interesting here at 220.20s. Will it break below? Will it push higher? Can we get much higher? So high? I don't know. I hope so in the SPY. But if we rest at 219.50s, that could actually be pretty interesting. You look at some of that confluence. Lots of levels on watch. Sharif, I wish I had more eyeballs and more fingers to trade. How are you doing?
I like it. I like it. Yeah, I'm in. Here we go. Okay, finally, we got a 136 break. Guys, I'm waiting at 130.9 on AILE, and every time we breach a big boy level, and yeah, you're like, Sharif, that's $1.36, not a big boy level. Well, if you saw the amount of shares sitting on the ask, you'd be like, okay, this is a bigger level. But what keeps me motivated on this trade is successively higher lows, higher highs. It's not parabolic. It's not crazy momentum, but it is moving up. I don't want to say predictably because the bottom can drop off at any time. We know how these small cap gappers are. They're around for a good time, not a long time. And as I say that, there it comes down. Look, I didn't want to wet my beak at 137. That's not the level. The level is this area over here. We know we had a consolidation area bottom there. And look at it come down, bro. Like literally foreshadowed this, saying the bottom could drop off at any time. Look at that. Just dropped 10 pennies quick as you like. Took forever to get those 10 pennies, but just like that to drop. Let's see if it catches a bid again. My stop doesn't move. It's just in the same place it's been the entire time. Catches a bid, I want to be a part of it. Otherwise, I'll get stopped out. Simple as that. Now, let's look at see what else of small cap gappers we have. Do we have over here? Okay, so some of them are no longer tradable, sadly. as they're breaking down now. Ram BKYI broke down. We had a good trade on that one. That's gone. Okay, Donald John Trump might be waking up here. So look, it's in a bit of a range, 1940 to the high side, and for the most part, 19. But we are putting in higher lows and higher highs. Donald Dang John Trump is the only one we're negative on the day. And so I want to exact revenge. Get it, Adara. So what I want to see right now is this the right time to get into DJT? Because it's been, like, I literally got a bottom wick, which is quite frustrating in and of itself. But we got to forget about that. Now we got to look to the long side over here. DJT is a curling. I'm going to take this. I'm crazy for punching in at highs because that's not my move. I don't punch in at highs, but I like how it's curling up. I'm going to have to DCA into this one, okay? It's showing me all the right moves, but I know that it's going to be a bamboozler. That's its like nature, right? These small cap gappers, especially DJT, it's going to bamboozle you. So I'm definitely interested in DCAing at the right price. Now, it's going to be about where I get in. So if I can show them right here, Ram, where the areas of support and resistance are, at least locally, definitely some resistance or support at 1930. So if it weasels it's into there, I'm looking at adding in and around there. But hopefully not, that I don't have to add. I like this look on DJT. I will take the advantage of, momentary declines, retracements, whatever you want to call them, to get a little bit more. Not going to be huge positions, but we're going to look to add into Donald John Trump. Hopefully not going to get me into a lot of trouble here with that ad philosophy. So we're going to put that first ad over here. We're going to sit it at 31s, come what may. And if 31 gets triggered, we'll look at 20. So DJT having issues still. It's not parabolic by any means, shape, or form, but we'll look to take advantage of this one if it can catch a bit of a bid. Nice move up initially into that $20. Obviously got to 2010, which is the high of the day. But in all seriousness, it's likely 20. That's the level. So 20 goes on a closing basis. It could get real interesting there. So keeping my eye on that. I want to also mention AVGO, Adara. I know you had your eye on this one, and I just put it in because I saw that it was strong with the microcaps, but this is working right back near the highs. High of the day, 145.93, essentially knocking on the door of 146. We're right back into that 145 and a third, looking to knock on the door of 145.50. I know I haven't talked about this one, but I did have it up on the side chart with Oracle over here. I haven't traded either, but we'll look to weasel into some trades if they do set up. But yeah, AVGO having itself a decent day. No question, especially as you compare it to NVIDIA. To be honest with you, there's not a whole lot that's strong in microchip world today, semi-caps, or semiconductors, excuse me. 0.79 for AMD, 3% for AVGO. Marvell's up 1.8, and Pi. I want to show you guys the chart on Pi. Okay, kind of crazy over here to show you this, but I did a little bit of charting yesterday, and this stock is a dang rocket. By the way, give you some context, it's up 95% year to date. Not one that we've ever talked about on the show, but here it is. And I want to show you the range that's taking place on the daily. It's got a gnarly range with one exception over here. That's Black Monday. But for the most part, it's been that 145 to the low side, essentially 175 to 180 on the high side. But look at this chart from essentially November 2023 to the highs that it just printed. It's up 275%. Not one that does a lot of trading, but I'm very interested in this range. I'm going to put an alert out for a breach of the range either way, because I think it's been ranging for quite a long time. Since April, essentially, we've been locked in this 145, 150 to 175, 180 range on Pi, but it's been a rocket ship of a name, at least lately with microchip world. It is a micro chip semi-cap kind of deal there. So that's the look. And yeah, back to my DJT trade. We're, what are we, 5 pennies out of the money here. I didn't get triggered on my DCA, sadly. We'll see if it does. It looks like it's coming back again here, Adara. 934, we're sitting at 1934. We're sitting at 1931. We'll see if we get that print. We're still putting in higher highs and higher lows.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really happy with the SPY trade. That was the trade I was kind of hoping for on the side. Basically, I said if SPY can break above 545, I have no problem risking like 25 cents on this because I think it'll pop. we got exactly what we wanted here. That 545.60 took out a third of the trade there. Or sorry, 2/3. Then I got out the last third. I basically was like, if we can't stay above 60s, get out. Got out there, so 60 cents. Happy with that trade there. And then we haven't really been at that level since. If we break decisively above 60s, I get back in the long for some purpose there. But right now, we're long gumme. So let's see what gumme gives me. GME, if I can pull this guy up. Also, guys, we do have the auction in 2 minutes. So also part of why I would not want to be in a SPY trade during the auction. I don't know if I want to be in a GME trade during the auction either, but to be fair, GME kind of moves to the beat of its own Atari soundtrack, so I'm going to let it do that. But I almost knocked over my water.
Uh-oh.
Hydration Nation. It would be Hydration my workstation if I spilled that, so not good. But GME here, I got long 24s. I am risking into 23.90s. A, it's the 90 MA. B, it's an area that was pretty interesting on the way down. I know because that when we broke that 90s, that was all she wrote. I mean, it wasn't. We came back up after, but the point remains. To me, that's a pretty interesting area, so I want to respect that. And I want to see what we do here. Currently, about like 5 cents below that, or 4 cents below that $24 area. I realize part of why I like trading GME is it's a bit spready. It's not going to be like as spready, mind you, as the Lilies, the Lulus of the world. Some of my favorite preferred tickers. But GME does have a little bit of a spread, sometimes 2-3 pennies, and it can give you, I guess, some color commentary there for sure. Literally color commentary because you're watching how the colors move on the book. So I want to see what happens there. Again, being aware of the auction, I will let you guys know. 3-year note, high yield, previous year of 3.81%. So we'll have to let you know how that all shakes out. Sometimes we don't get the numbers right away. Let you know the second we see it. Also, we're going to get out here of the GMEs. We broke below that 90-cent level there. Let's see if we can get filled because sometimes I struggle with that. Okay, I don't want to add to the position. Let's see what's going on here. Let's see what's shaking. We got out. We should have gotten out there of GME, so that is weird. We didn't get filled. Oh, now I know why we didn't get filled. Okay. I don't know what's happening here. So I was actually right the first time in terms of what direction I was trading. We're going to drink some coffee. And contrary to popular belief, I'm really not that caffeinated. And also, yeah, we have Live Life Without Grass TV saying, learn how not to trade. It's more important than learning how to. That's a good point, because sometimes you want to not be over trading. That's certainly what I was doing with Palantir. I got way too involved in that name, way too up in that name's grill. That is for dang sure, to use a Shrevism. Because I think, yeah, sometimes you just got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, right? We have John Del Senio saying SPY just hit head and shoulders top. Let's take, oh, wow, Amazon's kind of rangy here. Okay, deal with that later, Adara. SPY. Yeah, that's head and shoulders top. I don't just know if I see head and shoulders in the SPY. I'm going to be honest with you. To me, if that 554 breaks, RIP SPY. And I want to clarify as well, and I'll show the 1 minute because I think it shows it more clearly than my talking can. When we broke above 554 decisive or 545 decisively, we went straight to 545.60. To me, there's no levels in between there of any interest. On the way down, I guess there were. We had 40s that were pretty interesting on the book and on the chart. But the SPY here, if we break below 545, I would risk it into 20s, and I would just let this thing bleed. Let's see, though. Someone was asking early auctions leak. I am not seeing anything. Sometimes the pre-auction comes a little bit earlier. Sometimes it comes a little bit late, and sometimes it doesn't come at all. And that's what's fun about the auction. You never know what you will get. Longer time frames, says John Del Senio. Okay, I don't know what. I guess we'll try the daily chart if that thing will load for me. Let's figure out what occurs there. But yeah, so guys, I'm very high energy here with these markets.
You want me to take over,
No,
Derek?
it's okay. I just my chart just froze for some reason.
Okay.
Thank you, I appreciate it. But yes, we're gonna pull up that SPY chart there. Also, thank you, Melon Kunis, for the kind words, and also for your pun-related name in the chat. So let's see SPY daily chart. I'm just waiting here for that auction, the re-auction as well. So sometimes our charts decide to crash if you switch to the daily time frame. So we're gonna pull that up here. Day. Okay, my chart shut down again, so I'll pass it over to you, Sheree.
Yeah,
I'll
sure.
let you guys know if there's an auction, but SPY rejecting or trying to do something here at 545.40, that previous area. What do you
All
think?
right, I'm in 3 trades at the moment right now. We're in AILE, it's back up. Held that 124, so it's a bit of a higher low. Not much to talk about there, and it's a small position that's left. Also, in Donald John Trump, we're long 33s. We're printing 27s right now, so we are at the money. I'm looking for higher lows as well. We got the higher highs, but this could be a head and shoulders, right? We could be an extended right shoulder. We'll see. Okay, so, and then it looks like I just got stopped out of Amazon. I was looking for the double top on Amazon over here. So this is the first L that I'll take on the Zon today. Disappointed with this L. I'm still confident in this level, especially if we're below the volume weighted average price on the Future. We got into the VWAP. We rejected. We put a bit of a candle in there. I'm still interested on this level. I'm still. So I'm going to pack my patience on this level on AMZN. It printed for me last time at this level. I got a bit of a better price, sadly, but I got weaseled out of the trade. So yeah, that's the way it is on. That's the way it is. So we'll pack our patience with this one. I want to see what we can get possibly here at the double top on the Zon. But I should tell you that, it may not manifest into that. And the reason is we have higher lows. So this area over here took us to 177.15. At the wick, obviously, we breached 177. This area, this trough, we held up at 177.50. So incrementally higher lows could be incrementally higher highs as well. We'll pack our patience. Apple is right back into that 220 area again. We've all seen what it's done with 220 on the day. However, much like Amazon, Apple also putting in higher lows. Area trough, 216.73, that printed back at the 950 time slot. Then we have an area trough at 218 this time, so a little bit higher. What time was that? That was around 12 o'clock. So interesting look on the Future right now on the Mag 7 names. Amazon looks like it's going to go here and breach that 179 on a permanent basis, and if it does, we're not going to have any part of it. DJT coming down into my entry. My stop is already on that bad boy. We'll see what we get there. And AILE, boring me to death. Got into that $1.29, $1.30. Not much doing there. Waiting for much higher to print on this one. Amazon's really going here, guys. It's breaking 179. So I'm happy that, we got stopped out of that and we didn't DCA into it and get in trouble, because here it is, 170.20 coming in here on AMZN. Obviously, 179.90 is the high of the day with multiple topping tail candles into that 180 area, 179.90, obviously that 180 area. Strength for Amazon here, baby, as it's coming into that $0.25, just got into the $0.05 of a dollar right now on Amazon. We yelling about this one earlier, and it's the strongest one of the day, far and away. 2.15. Tesla's given everything back. Well, almost. It's still up 1 2/3, but Amazon up over 2%, 2.16 as I see it right now. Shout out to the Katina man over there. But that's the look right now on Amazon. It's, maybe not the best idea to short it, seeing that it is the strongest, but I like this level. Straight up. I like the 179 level, and, I gave myself enough room. Did get stopped out, and that's the way it is. So keep an eye on this one. Still in Donald John Trump, still in AILE. Nothing doing on either of those at the moment. We are, though, at VWAP yet again on the NQ September contract. So weaseling our way back up there. We've been kind of ranging for the better part of 20 minutes or so since 11:50. The range really being here that closing print from yesterday, 18,690, and essentially VWAP. With this candle here coming in with a higher low, so we could definitely get the break of VWAP on a closing basis and run up on these here markets. So we'll see what we get there with the Future. Let's look here at some of these other small cap gappers, non-Donald John Trump and AILE related. Nothing doing on any of them. Don't like any of them, but I see here AVGO right back into the highs again, Adara. I know you were looking at this one, 145.93. Now it is knocking the door. Just got into 82s there, so basically 10, 11 pennies off the high. Printing 75s right now. Good day here for AVG, up 3.5%. What are you guys looking at? And I forgot completely to tell you, the Katina man is short Apple. I forgot to tell you guys to vote. I know that Adara's been telling you to vote all day. And I want to tell you, Rogelio Concepcion just voted just voted for DJT. What's up? What do you want? What does he want? Oh, okay. What's up, Randy? So DJT, my man Rogelio there, voting for DJT. Do you guys have a choice? Tony Price wants to talk about IWM. Adara, well, not always, but she trades the IWM. C Battles, talking about a short on Nike. Get into the chat, my man. Vote for Nike. Chris M, talking about SMMT, looks ready to break out at 2069. Get into the chat, my man. Vote for SMMT. That was one I was looking at as well yesterday. And he goes on talking about it some more. I know that Zoltan trading up a storm there on DJT. Get into the chat, Zoltan. Vote for DJT as your ticker. And I'm sure the Katina Man and Obe1 Kanob will do it as well. Asta, you forgot the exclamation point before typing in join. So it's not going to register your vote, sadly. So my man Asta there voted for Tesla. Get into the chat. Vote for Tesla if that's what you're interested in there. And as I see Donald John Trump tanking now, off 19, so I got stopped out there with a bigger position. Disappointed in myself with how I traded this one, but that's the way that it goes. I am negatory now on Donald John Trump. We'll look to do a little bit better here, Adair.
Yeah, so I know Sean said he is long Apple. I'm actually short Apple. Or sorry, he's short Apple. I'm long Apple. And I actually, as of right now, I have no idea how this works. Usually when I trade against the sticky note, it does not go well. I didn't know he was short. I've been in this for a bit here. But I stand by this long because I took this off levels I like. Again, we'll see if I continue to stand by that. But you got to stick with whatever you're confident in. He's confident in the short. I'm confident in the long. I didn't mean to press that button. Why am I confident in the long? Because, to be clear, don't let my point of entry here, but look at that 219.60. This like harsh little shelf. If we stay above this shelf, honestly, I have no qualms about going along here. That 219.75 level, I have waxed poetic about this for now 2 days. So since I've been in this trade, it has not gotten below that level. I am risking into 219.60s. I'm giving it some room. When I was in this initial short, I did get stopped out before the big quadunk, but we wicked into like 69s. We came right back. And I'm not saying it just for whimsy. We really did wick into 69s. Came back up. So I know what levels are being loved here. That being said, Apple cannot break above 219.20 now. Or sorry, yeah, 219.90 now. If it was 219.20, I'd be long gone. 219.90, I am cognizant of that. But to me, I don't have a reason to leave till we get below my level. We do have those higher highs, higher lows. It's been in an uptrend since 218, also a key level yesterday. So I actually, right now, as of right now, again, things can always change. Right now, I like it. I am, though, very disappointed that while I was trying to bite into this apple, I missed a beautiful look here on T to the S to the L to the A. So let's talk about that, because TSLA here, I liked. Like I saw this, and I've talked about this as becoming a new playbook trade for me. When you've got a bit of support, and then you make that support on a wick basis. So the candle closes higher, but we wick into that previous support level. I find this to be really bullish. I wanted to go long 219.60s once we did that, and then risk it into 219.40s. So that close area, alas, I was not able to get filled. Also would not have had the buying power to do that in Apple anyway, so probably all worked out. But Tesla continuing to push higher. Let's see what Tesla does as it gets into that 221 area. Can 221 do something for it? For Tesla. Apple, though, above 220s. Okay, nice look there. Both Apple and Tesla at 220s. I want to add here, if we can get back to 220.03s, I'm cool with that. We're going to add some shares to this position. In terms of profit taking, 220.40s. Look at that. That's so clean, so fresh, so clean. That is a level that I absolutely want to be getting out. Right, I had to shout that out. So we'll see what happens here in this A to the A, to the P, to the L. I am very happy with what I did over here. Shahruz, yeah, I am doing stock analysis right now. That I am analyzing that. Yeah, I saw that you said that too. I was like, yeah. But let's see what happens here on AAPL. We're gonna get out how much. I don't have as much as I'd like here, but I was actually analyzing Tesla, and that's why I was able to get filled what I wanted in Apple. But we're gonna be getting out 40% here. If we get to 220.40s, we will be saving a piece for that dream. But honestly, Sharif, we can get right back above here, that 220.30s. We might have to get everything out here now. Let's see what we do as we push back in below the 220.20s. Okay, we're watching, we're waiting, we're being careful. If we can't break back above 220.20s, I'll just get out. I have no qualms. I am qualmless, Sharif.
I know you are, Daryl.
Oh, well, you know I am. You have to have ideas, but you also have to be willing to recognize when they are wrong and when they're not going to do everything they want to. You know what? As we're going to try to see another attempt here to break 220.20s. Okay, we're back. We're wicking back above 220.20s. We can't hold it. We get out at 220.17s. I am pleased with this trade. As I've said, I still need to work on my exit rules. So that did not rule my exit rules there. And we could still break back above 40s. That's fine. I just should have definitely planned that a little bit better with regards to the exit rules. I fully recognize that. Let's see if we get back above this 220.30 area here. That could actually be interesting. Maybe I should have kept a piece in for this position. But the way we wicked below 30s was a little bit scary hours. I don't know why I keep shouting out the Drake album, but I do. Wow, SPY. Okay, SPY pushing up really. Also, I forgot to mention this. Part of my confluence for the Apple trade as well was I got long Apple around the time that SPY broke above 545.60. Why does that matter? If my SPY chart loads, I can show you. 545.60. Look at this 1 minute candle. We pushed right from 545 into 545.60, and then we quadunk. right? So once we broke back above 540, 560, I was like, okay, these bulls are vigorous. These are intense bulls. Vikyan Novak saying congrats on Apple. I jumped out when I heard Katina Man was short. Dang. Sorry about that. Sorry to hear that, Vikyan Novak, but I do appreciate, thank you for the congrats. I want to say one thing too, is we've seen this on this desk. Sometimes you can be in different directions and still be profitable, right? So that's what I've learned. You have to find your own confidence and figure out whatever your level was. You know, my level on something isn't going to change because Shreyas in a different direction, right? And same, his is not going to change because I'm in a different direction. So I think that's really key. And I do appreciate what you have to say there.
You have shorts on Guma?
I do have shorts on Guma.
It's at VWAP, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I don't want to try to influence your trade, but because Michelle Hebert was talking about that, it went positive, and it was. It's exactly flat, which is funny because VWAP seems to be at the exactly flat mark. So shout out, thank you very much to Michelle Hebert, one of the OGs there in the chat, for calling that out. GameStop obviously reports after the bell today, guys. And yeah, well, you know, we're not going to take a position either way. Well, we're going to look at the price action, and the price action is saying it's up 0.12 and a skosh above that volume-weighted average price. So I want to see exactly what we do here with GME. So packing my patience there. I'm back long Donald John Trump. We're about 10 pennies, 11 pennies in the money. It's nothing to write home about. We lost way more than that. We were long from 40s, and we ended up getting out at 9. No, we got out at 20. So we lost 20 pennies. Calm down, Sharif. With bigger size. I don't have as big of a position, full disclosure, on it. I'm 0 for 2 on it so far, quite frankly. So not a good look today with me and Donald John Trump, but I'll keep trading it if I see that it sets up. So keeping my eye on this one. Let's see if it runs off the volume-weighted average price. I'm still holding AILE for like nothing over here. It's consolidating, but it's not stopping me out, so nor am I going to get out from there. Guys, the future is popping up pretty nice, but we got to put everything in context here with the future. We still, believe it or not, have lower highs. Okay, so if we extend out that trend line and we draw the channel, area crest, area crest, area crest, and then the area crest over here. So that high, 18,790. It's a beautiful recovery from that 18.6 double bottom to breach 18.7 and to even breach this trend line. But what I'm looking for is that 17,890 break above this area crest. Show me you're going to print newer highs. That's what I want to see. Okay, so you know, it's fantastic that we got that midday move and everything pumped up, Mag 7 included. But if you're looking for direction, look for higher highs and higher lows. That would be my suggestion. Good look on the future. Nice recovery midday. Who's going to complain about that? Maybe the shorts, but I'm not going to complain about that. Let's look at some of these small cap gappers. Anything a foot over here that we can take advantage of. Okay, so Affirm back at the volume weighted average price. Can't say the same for Upstart. Been looking at these two bad boys today because they've been unusually weak, and I couldn't find a catalyst on them, quite frankly. So let's load up AFRM and have a look at what it's doing. So I see it at 36.60. Is that where it is? Yeah, 36.50. So this is VWAP. So I want to see what we do here. I don't have to be first to the party, but it's shown you at least intraday its propensity to reject off the volume weighted average price. So if that's going to be the case, then I want to get involved. Look, it took a couple of candles there in the more liquid time of day reject. Maybe it takes a little bit more over here. I'll be on the lookout for higher highs. That higher high breaks this double top that we put in at 1035 at 1040. That takes us through that 3685, 3690 area. We breach that. I'll look long. But my suspicion is today we probably reject VWAP and drop down a little bit. So we're going to be looking out for that possibly. Donald John Trump got into that 1910, now back into 1907. It looks as if the lower high situation is going to be the case here. And, you know, if we get stopped out, we got stopped out. We already put in our stop. Here's the look, though. I see a lot of interactions with this 1910. So I think if we can get above 1910, that's a good look. There was a lot of hold up there initially. Like we were zigging, we were zagging. We did generally hold 1910 as support. Now it's acting as resistance. No surprise there. Let's see if we breach it. If we don't, we're going to lose another 10 pennies on this one, Adair.
And we're going to do the lesson after I finish my little Q scalp short here. And I'm aware, Adara, why are you not trading the TQs? Kind of a weird choice, maybe. But I said this to Jaylee in the chat because Jaylee was like, you could just short the TQs. I am not comfortable with the leverage on the TQs. I feel way more comfortable trading the SPY. But between the SPY and the Qs right now, I prefer the look of the Qs because we did come into that lower high with the topping tail candle. I'm giving this a 75s. get above that 75 level, I'll get out. Really, really small position. This is my first. I think I traded the Qs, like non-TQs, once in the sim, maybe once. Never traded them live. I want to start this small, but really, you know, you got to do things that scare you a little bit within reason. Again, to be clear, risking like 35 cents with a really small position here. So we'll see what happens on this trade as we head into that lesson of the day, which is going to be about fan patterns. Hopefully you guys are a fan of the content. And if you want to see what Obi and Sean have been trading, let us know in that chat. Right now, you only have about 30 minutes left to vote. Exclamation point, join, space, $, that ticker. It does not have to be Mag 7 stocks. I know some people have been like, oh, like why, you know, we were talking about the tickers anyway. So maybe think about some other tickers. Maybe there's some small caps, maybe DJT, Palantir, anything that's been moving today that you want to know, opinions on, definitely, please let us know here in the chat. While we do the lesson after after we finish this little Q trade here, we'll see how this goes because I wanted to scalp this, but it looks like this might be at support. Have not gotten to the level where I'd leave yet, so we're going to wait and see what occurs. There is a bit of a slowdown here. We're at this level where I think we could potentially move to the downside. SPY, though, nicely just pushed above VWAP, so we'll wait and see. This could definitely, not work out here, but that's the thing with every trade I'm realizing is it might work out, it might not. You have to go after the trades you believe in. That 456 level I really like because we have all these wicks to the downside. It's a whole dollar level. It was VWAP previously. There was some interaction, all that jazz. Let's see if we break back below my entry point here, that 546.40s. Oh, we're bouncing off 546.40s. Okay, Qs, that's fine. That's cool. Let's see what we do here on these Qs. But also, while I do the lesson, I'm going to be watching Palantir as well. I know I said I would. I was generally trying to avoid trading Palantir for the rest of the day, but if there's levels I like on it and they hit, I don't want to avoid that. I would take a very small position, Palantir 34.30s, if I see a bounce there, so I'll have the book up while I'm doing the lesson. If I see anything I like, I shall get involved. In the meantime, SPYs continuing to shop and turn here, 546. 70s, GME at that 24-25 area. Shout out to Sharif mentioning those shorts, and shout out, because I do have shorts on that, and shout out to Real Trading as well, because with Real Trading, you could actually get 1,000 shares of GME for $1.20. That is a very affordable price. We're going to get out of the Qs basically flat here because we are just kind of continuing to chop and turn at that level, and we have to do the lesson of the day. But I will say, once you do something for the first time, it gets a lot less scary. So shout out to trading the Qs. Wasn't comfortable trading the TQs, but wanted to trade the NASDAQ futures, so figured out how to do that for myself. All good there, baby. But you know what else is great as well, and which is not a dream, is the fan principle. Jeez. So this is going to be a pretty juicy lesson, hopefully, for you guys today. By the end, you're going to hopefully understand the fan principle as discussed by John J. Murphy in technical analysis of the financial markets. Shout out to JJM. So first, we're going to introduce the fan principle to you all. It usually involves, ahead of myself here. It's a concept that helps traders analyze market trends. Also, AMD's pumping. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I just saw that in the chat and then I looked at my side chart. Yeah, AMD, guys, at I think highs of day here up 1.7%, continuing to push higher here. But basically what the fan principle does is helps traders analyze market trends and potential reversals. And it revolves around the idea that trends don't reverse all at once, but in stages. So you're not going to get one big reversal. You're going to see all these different elements before you say, oh boy, the reversion man's here. You have that mean reversion trade. Oh. So basically, as the trend weakens, you're going to see the slope of trend lines becoming less steep, which creates a fan-like appearance on the chart. Also, Derek S., I left this short because I wanted to be able to focus on the lesson. That was the only reason I left. I would be down to get back in if something sets up here, but that's why I left that trade. So basically, it refers to a sequence of progressively flatter trend lines drawn on a price chart, signifying the gradual weakening of a trend, and it helps traders to identify where a trend might reverse and providing them with entry and exit points in that market. Let's talk about some key characteristics. So there's going to be three trend lines. Typically, one of them, the first trend line is going to be the steepest part of the trend. The second trend line is going to be the less steep trend line once the price breaks below the first line. So you've got the first line, then the second line is the less steep trend line that occurs when the price breaks below said line. What about that third trend line, though? If the second trend line is broken, you're going to get a third and even flatter line being drawn. So what about gradual reversals? Instead of a sharp reversal, the gradual reversal occurs when the market will undergo a gradual transition as each trend line is broken. So it's not going to be a big quaduk. It's going to be dip, 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 dip before it cracks. So the slope will flatten with each successive line, showing the decreasing momentum of the prevailing trend. Sorry, excuse me. Fan-like appearance as well. Here's worth noting because when viewed on the chart, the sequence of trend line is going to create a visual element similar to a fan. The angle becomes wider as the trend weakens and price fluctuation becomes a little bit less aggressive. So here's one example here of Bart Simpson's head, as Irene was saying earlier, these fan trend lines. So you've got the breaking of that third line signifying the reversal of the trend. So you've got your first line, a little bit steeper, break lower, we bounce, we come back up, reject off that line. So a lot of support resistance flips as well. It's worth noting here. Then we come below, and John J. Murphy says that too. Notice that the broken trend lines 1 and 2 often become resistance lines. So I guess some more confluence there, resistance and support flips. Also, people asking why AMD is pumping. I have not seen or heard anything. It's worth noting, though, it actually kind of mirrors Tesla in terms of its movement up here. So AMD had a higher day, so it's more significant, but they're both looking kind of similar with those most recent pops. And here's one example here of a bearish line here, right? So you've got your fan principle at the bottom. The breaking of the third trend line to the upside signifies that upside reversal. And once again, you've got those previous broken trend lines flipping from resistance to support. Here's actually an live example. Shout out to the IWM or the Russell. Shout out to Russ there. But you've got here these fan lines so often drawn here at these successive peaks. And you're going to see the breaking of the third fan line usually signaling the start of an uptrend. So it shows when these trends are going to flip it and reverse it. We come back up, we break above this level, and we actually also, interestingly enough, bounce off level of the 2. So it shows these lines aren't just drawn by John J. Murphy in his book. You can find them in the wild, and then we push higher. Let's talk about the practical application of these. So it helps you identify trend reversals because you can use the fan principle to identify when a strong trend is losing momentum. So for instance, if you've got a steep uptrend breaking the first trend line, that could signal a weakening trend. And when it breaks the second, traders should consider that the uptrend may be ending. One example of this would be like you've got a stock at a steep uptrend. The first trend line will be capturing the aggressive price movement. And then when the price closes below this line, traders will watch for a second less steep trend line to form. If you've got the price breaking the second line, though, that's going to be a sign of a likely trend reversal. So it also can help you timing entry or exit points because it can help traders recognize when the trend is weakened enough to make an entry in the case of a reversal or exit to avoid losses as the trend dies. We talked about exit and entry rules. I've said I've been trying to work on this, reasons to buy, reasons to sell. And so one example here with regards to timing entry and exit points and these lines is going to be if you have a trader holding a long position, maybe they'll decide to exit once the price breaks through the second trend line, which ensures they preserve, their gains before the trend line fully reverses. Before the trend fully reverses. It also can help you to adjust stop losses, right? So as each trend line is broken, traders can adjust their stop or move their stop losses to protect themselves against further downside risk. We talk a lot about risk management. I've been talking a lot about risk management rules, right? And figuring out those. So that's one way you could do this as well. For example, maybe after breaking the first trend line, a trader might move their stop loss closer to the second trend line to secure the bag in case of a potential reversal or secure the egg. To Sharif. We're going to talk here as well about how you can combine the fan principle with other technicals because we love these in the wild examples. We love confluence on this show. That is for darn sure. So the relative strength index is one thing to consider here. RSI can help confirm if a trend is overbought or oversold, aligning with trend line breaks in the fan principles. So if you've got the price breaking the first trend line in the fan formation and the RSI showing overbought conditions, it strengthens the case for a potential reversal. Moving averages are worth noting here too. You've got the price breaking, especially the 50-day or the 200 moving average, because they can serve as additional support or resistance levels. If a price breaks here, the trend line within the fan principle and simultaneously crosses a key moving average, this can serve to further confirm a weakening trend. The MACD is also worth noting because it can provide further insight into momentum shifts. And so how that works is if you've got the MACD crossing below the signal line at the same time a price breaks second or third trend line, par exemple, that can add weight to the argument for a trend reversal. And last but not least, volume. If you've got, that can help support the fan principle by highlighting the strength of the trend line break. So if you have here a break in a trend line accompanied by higher than usual trading volume, that might suggest to you that the move is significant and that could lead to a further breakdown in that here trend. So here's some key takeaways. Basically, the fan principle can provide a structured way of analyzing trend weakening and reversal, and it helps traders to anticipate reversals by observing a series of progressively flatter trend lines. And when you combine the fan principle with other indicators like RSI, MACD, and volume or moving averages here, you can help improve your timing and decision making, but you want to make sure you're using these in confluence, not on their own, and make sure you're practicing. Make sure you're also looking, as always, for the balance of the evidence in these here. Markets, Sharif. Also, yeah, the Qs here. The short might have been a good idea, but we still bounced off 456. So I stand by getting out. I would short the Qs again if we get decisively below 456. How are you doing, Sharif?
Well, I'm in that short. So we'll see what we get there. Already wet my beak on some profits. This is kind of the reason why I got in. We'll see if it ends up printing a new high. But this is the level that we kept talking about. Lower highs successively on the future. We'll see if we defend this 18750 level. We've got 2 candles that bounce off it. Now I've got my stop in place already with this bad boy. We'll see if it can kind of come back down off that level. So packing my patience on this one, wet my beak in the low 70s, got in, initially at 75s, added at 90 and went by beak at 70. So we'll see if we get a little bit of sell off there. Now look, it's not an even bag right now at on the future or the Mag 7, excuse me. Here's what I mean by that. You've got Amazon looking like it wants to take that 180 level quick as you like. Also, Apple looks maybe destined to take out that 2/3 of a dollar. But that's where the bullishness ends on the Mag 7, quite frankly. Meta is dead weight today. Don't know what's going on there. It's rejecting that 505 print. Amazon rejecting VWAP. Google rejecting VWAP. Tesla rejecting as well. And so is NVIDIA. So we'll see. I see more red candles there at this level than I do green, save, and except for AMZN and a little bit of Apple. I see red on Apple as well, to be fair. Okay? 3 red candles, 3 5-minute red candles right now on AAPL. And it's got it coming down a little bit over here. So now let's see what we're going to get here on these triple Qs. I want to wait for a bigger move, quite frankly. Whether we get one or not, an entirely different story. Now, what are my levels on the T triple Qs? Well, I like this 5940. There's an obvious area crest there that we rejected, took it out at 13.10. There we go. Now we're 20 pennies in the money over here. Get it, Katina man. We're going to wet our beak a little bit over here at Darrow. We're still holding. This is a bigger position. Get it, Katina man. The Katina man's with me on the T triple Q, so shout out to him. So we just wet our beak there again. We're going to hold now for that 40 print come what may. We're going to take it out. Let's put 40. Well, 44 is a bad number, Adara, so we're going to put it at 45. Okay, so if we get 45, fantastic. We don't, that's the end of the story. Okay, so we just, we're on the way down a little bit right now with even Amazon showing some redness now, rejecting generally that 180 area. Let's see if Amazon is able to take 180. I think that that's a trade in and of itself today on the Zon. Look, how many topping tail candles and rejections of 180 do we need to get? Like these ones initially over here at 955, 10, 1055, then again over here, 115, 120, 125. This one didn't quite reach. Now it's on the way down into that 70 penny, 2/3 of a dollar area on AMZN. So AMZN, a different short in and of itself. We'll have to see if that 180 level gets breached. That 220 kind of reminds me of that 180 on Amazon, 220 on Apple, but that 220 already got taken. We weaseled our way up to 2/3 of a dollar. So I don't really want to I don't want to draw comparisons between the two. I think they're distinctly different. Shout out to the Obe. He is the one, Kenob, over there on the big desk with the Katina man. Good look with them today. They were both printing up storms on Palantir, that was, in case you missed the morning show there. So yeah, I'm still holding, I'm holding this T triple Q short. All right, let's get down again. Let's see if we can breach 60 this time. Last time we held up in the low 60s, Katina man. Can we get a breach of 60? I'd like a breach of 60. I think the Katina man would as well. He's laughing. I don't know what's going on over there, but yeah, I think they're having a good time. The Katina man's bidding some at 60 on his T triple Q short. So if you're following along with the Katina man's trades, be made aware that he's looking to wet his beak there at the 60s. Now, I want to tell you about a trade that I didn't do so well on while Darrow was dropping hot lines on the lesson. I tried to get short a firm for a possible double top, and it gave me it presented me with one of its fingers. And yeah,
I wonder which one.
Right? So anyway, I ended up getting out. I wanted to say I got out top wick, but that's not true. It ended up weaseling its way back to 70. So it looks like there is a bit of a mean reversion trade right now happening on the firm because it's above the volume-weighted average price. AFRM taking the VWAP at the $0.50, weaseling up possibly into the $0.75 of a dollar, excuse me. And Upstart, not so much. It's off the lows, but it's not even at VWAP. So I have nothing to say there. But your boy, Avgo, Have went.
And have gone. It's have gone.
It's have gone. I love it. Yeah, it's going. Knock on the door possibly of that 148 area. Anyway, a firm looking strong here. Let's see what the future's doing. Oh, it's popping right back up, baby. So we wet our beak there, but it's coming up again. We need to be alive to the fact that we are now picking up in volume as we get closer and closer to that 2 o'clock hour. The thing is, though, the volume picks up around there. So whatever trend you may have discerned earlier could be in question once that volume picks up. So we'll keep an eye on that. What are you looking at, Adair?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've traded way too many names today, but it's hard because things keep setting up and being interesting. I tried a Tesla trade here. I'm really, like I said, I wanted that long at 220.60s, wasn't able to get filled. That was really the look here. And I don't know if I should have gotten short there with those Qs. I want to shout out you and Sean there. But I got short the TQs or the Qs once again here, 456. Got out as we broke above that 456.30, which to me was a bit of a level just watching this book earlier. But I don't even know why I got short, because I got short as I saw Apple hold 220.60, as I saw Nvidia. And again, like, people are gonna have their own reasons for a trade, right? I don't know if I had the right reason for that short for myself. And I say that because I did see some bullishness in other areas of the market. I got chopped up on Tesla, tried to get short 221, and then got out of that 221.20 area. But Nvidia here, oh, wow, Nvidia. I don't want to trade yet another ticker today. That's my only issue with not getting involved here in Nvidia. Because look at these higher lows. Like, this is going to be a pivotal area, Sharif. Either we reject at that previous support resistance level one more time, or we bounce. And either way, I don't know what I want here, but I do know I want everyone here to vote. Make sure also you like and subscribe, because you cannot vote if you're, or you can't vote if you're not a subscriber, because you can't be in the chat if you're not a subscriber. Get in that chat. Let us know what you're looking at. Let us know your feelings about this market. Tell us what you want, what you really, really want. And hopefully, if you get enough votes, you'll be able to get involved. I don't want to be bullish here right now, because I don't know if that's the move, but Nvidia is kind of screaming at me to go long. I feel like my read in this market has been a little bit iffy. I've said that. There have been, a couple opportunities where I've basically gotten stopped out, top or bottom wick, and then the thing does what you want it to do. So I really am not sure what my read is right here. I think Tesla's inability to get back above into that 222 area, a little bit bearish. We've got Qs. I think the Qs made a lower high here, unable to eclipse that 456.40 area once again. So we're gonna have to wait and see. You know what? I think we'll see what Qs do here at 456.40. That might be a better level for me, because I've really been, most of my trades here are, I'm looking at Mag 7 names, which are kind of usually predicated on what the futures do. Also, you totally called that GME short idea, Sharif. I want to shout that out. I didn't take it because I had other things I was looking at there. I apologize. My GME chart is a little bit scuffed up. I'll see if I have another one I can pull it. There we go. So we got GME here. It does have that rejection at 24.30s. That is going to be lower high. Did not take that short. But you know what? Where's the next trade? Like I said, I don't know. And what will be happening here in the Qs will certainly be helping me with regards to that next direction. If the Qs can hold 456.50, I'm more likely to go long. If they can't, I'm more likely to go short, because I have levels on quite a few stocks here. What levels do you have, and how are you looking?
Me? Oh, yeah, I'm still in the TQQs, but I'm telling you, the strength is coming in here, Adira, as it feels like maybe the winds of change are coming. I'm not punching out of this position. I'm holding on to it. I want to see exactly what we get. I think you're absolutely right in the sense that we still haven't put in that higher high. Just don't really want to give back profits. That's the concern, obviously, but we're going to pack our patience and see what we get on this trade. Yeah, we're short in front of that 60, a good level as any to draw the line there. I want to shout out some of the traders in the chat trading these small cap gappers. Somebody asking me where I had my out on AILE. Look, if I don't take this out before I get up off the desk to go to the big screen and it triggers, I'll get out at 118. So a breach of 118. I'm Gonzino. The only reason I did that, really, my level is 120, but you always want to give it a little bit of room in case there's that extra liquidity at the level and you end up getting stopped out. So that's why I did that. No real reason that 118 is a thing. It's more like 120, but we'll see. We're still printing 126. I got to tell you, though, the truth is this is a very, very small position that's left here. So we'll see what we get there. Now, we were talking about how Amazon was the strong one and how some of these other ones were weak. It's kind of flipped. All of a sudden, the soft ones putting in candles to the high side. Tesla's catching a bit of a bid back into 222 possibly. NVDA still negative, 0.1%, but it also put in a couple of green candles. But Amazon is not taking that 180 level just yet. Look at this. This was a predictable trade on AMZN, 179.95, the high of the day, and that was printed right there at 125, and down we go. Looks like we're getting into that $0.50 again. Let's see if this holds up at the 10 exponential. It's been decent trade today on Amazon. We're what are we? 3 for 4 on Amazon. So not a bad look there. Shout out to the Katina man. I know he printed up a storm on Amazon as well. And so we'll be packing our patience. All right, Fuge, come down, bro. Come down. So I've been waiting, packing my patience on this one. I don't want the winds of change to come here and take some of the profits. So if we get prints, I believe in the mid 50s, I'm going to look to move up my beak wetter from there into around the mid 50s. But we're already taking out 2 positions here on the triple Q. So I only have one beak wetter left. And we got to use that beak wetter correctly, right? Otherwise, what are we doing here? So let's keep an eye out on this one. The fact that it's up 1.12%, but that's not the NQ, that's the triple levered, which is basically 3 times the 0.35 that the actual NQ September contract's up. So we'll keep tabs here. Here comes that I was about to say, I think we were about to break 70s, but yeah, this down move on the future not happening as quick as I'd like, quite frankly, and we may not get it. So that's a look there. Let's look at what else is moving here. AILE back up to $1.30, but it's had all sorts of trouble at this low 130 areas. It hasn't even got up anywhere near the high 130s, which is where my beak wetter, my profit taker has been at that 139. The reason I put my profit taker at 139 was to account for this area consolidation low. So if we were to work up and get it into that, I wanted to take profits out before we got into there, thinking, maybe we meet some resistance in and around that area. So Amazon's go.
Oh, on your chart.
Randy. I don't know why he was smiling at me today. I thought he was maybe setting up an elastic or something to hit me in the head again. Was that it? Katina, man, I knew it. I knew he was a. No. Oh, wasn't that? I'm saying maybe it was. I want answers, Randy. Yeah. I hit Neil by accident there. I thought he hit me, and then he took friendly fire there. I feel bad for what I did to Neil that day. The dude took friendly fire for no reason. The futures it's catching a bid here, and I think it's Apple propelled as well as Microsoft propelled, guys, because I don't really see much else catching a bid. If we move up above this 60 penny area, we're gone. Zeno Adaria, what's your look?
Yeah, I mean, I also was I was short Apple, and I stood by the short at the time that I did not like it anymore, didn't like what I was seeing in the book. Ended up getting out, tried to get short NVIDIA here as we broke below that 21 level. 21 did not do something for me. We broke above, I got out. Like I said, I am kind of grossed out by the trading today. There have been, to be clear, there have been some decent trades. There have been more gross trades, though, unfortunately. And there's just, tomorrow's a new day, but we're always bullish positivity as well. Where's the next trade? I don't know. To be clear, I stand by. I'm happy I got out of Apple here where I did. I like the short for a moment, but I was cognizant of the bull flag shape. I just like the way we pushed down as the future pushed higher, so I like that look. But yeah, this NVIDIA, pardon?
I feel like this is a long. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, so do I actually. Yeah. As we got the Qs pushing higher, and I should have gone with my gut because I said I'm not sure the Qs are short here. And then why do I try to short 2 Mag 7 names? We'll never know. I mean, we really won't. But let's see what Tesla does here. Like I said, I've been looking again, doesn't matter. We're going to learn here. We're going to grow. That is the entire point. Let's see what happens here. Of all of these tickers on my radar, SPY above 547, not a bad look. I love that 547.50 level earlier. Tesla dipping a little bit lower as the futures dip higher. Yeah, we got a really big bull flag on the Qs, on Apple, baby bull flag on Tesla, VAG uptrend on NVIDIA. It's been Amazon pretty bull flaggish as well. AMD still AM, whatever the opposite of AM dying is. This thing is all the way alive. Beautiful look. Also only 9 minutes to vote for your ticker of choice. You can hear it. Wow. AMD, double bottom. Double bottom.
Bro, it's up
Technical catalyst can exist.
What is going on?
Double bottom here on this guy, 137.40. I'll see if there's anything that Lisa Sue related here on this thing to look at. Apparently 4 hours ago, they announced their AI event for October 10th. But it's on October 10th, and it was announced 4 hours ago. Also, they were at the Communicopia, so apparently there may have been some things there. Not sure exactly when that talk occurred. 4 minutes ago, someone tweeted that, but again, we had that move up more than 4 minutes ago. So, either way, this technical look here of the 137.40 bottom is certainly a great look. I want to be cautious about trading anything here because, like I said, it has not been, some days are not going to be the vibe. You got to wait for your opportunities, not trade every ticker under the sun. Maybe Adair, come on now. But you learn a little bit from every trade, and that I think is really key. And I don't want to, sully that. That's the whole point of the aggressive journaling, is because you have to look back. And when I say aggressive, I don't mean like you don't want to be too hard on yourself either. You want to focus on what worked, what didn't, and by identifying those levels, that's how you get better. Like literal levels on the chart, and then also levels in your performance, right? Things you were aware of. So for Palantir, I think this was clearly not working, and I just kept, my reading the levels, so I should have been more cognizant of that and let it go. Shout out to Frozen, I guess, shout out to Disney. But you'll see what happens here. SMCI says random oddities. I would love to look at that. Let's figure out random oddities. Also, the Electric Camel was asking me what my zodiac sign is. I am or if I was a Leo, I'm not a Leo, I'm a Capricorn. I'm a January Cap, so guess
Is there a difference between Jane and December caps?
I don't know, but some people care about the differences. So, okay, not a lot of volume though. Dwindling volume on SPCE as it tries to push back above VWAP. Beautiful support here though with that 401 level, higher highs, higher lows. Let's see what it does at VWAP and that 407.50 level. Right now, we're trying to wick away from it. I see you are though involved in some more garlic aioli. So how's that going? Or you're still?
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same trade. Yeah, I got stopped out of the queues. I tried to take a short there against better judgment, thinking we're going to reject again, and I stopped out for a 10-penny loss. We're still holding AILE. Sorry about that. And it's done nothing. Adara 132, 133, and that's just kind of how it is there. Yeah, not a whole lot for me to talk about right now. What are you guys looking at? Throw it in the chat if you want me to look at anything for you. I think I'm done trading for the day. We're going to finish this trade off on AILE, but I got to be up in about 10 minutes, so I don't want to get into a new trade. If you want me to look at anything for you, just throw it in the chat, but make sure to tag me so that I can see it, and then I will be more than glad to look at that one for you guys. So let's look at some of the small cap gappers and see what they're up to. Affirm, nice recovery today for Affirm, so didn't trade this one very well, but it's breached this area that I was looking at earlier. And this is the kind of the double top we were basing some of our trade on right there. The stop out, 36.84. It didn't really get that much higher. It got into that 36.93. So I'll keep my eye on Affirm, possibly for why it's moving. I still have no idea. Shout out to Sharuz. Please check QQQ daily, Sharif. Absolutely. Let's have a look at the triple Qs. Obviously, anything can change with the triple Qs. Well, look, my man, with CPI coming, we are getting lower highs. So this is kind of, to me, the pullback in Elliott waves. So we know that we have waves 1 to 5 in the initial bull or bear run on Elliott waves, and then we have a 3-wave pullback. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for to manifest at the moment. Right now, we have 2 of the waves that have manifested, right? One down, you pop back up, and then the third. So this one hasn't finished yet because we don't know. We haven't printed a newer high above 487. So personally, I'm biased either short or consolidative until subsequent to the election. I know that there are intervening economic numbers that we get during that time. Obviously, CPI, we have FOMC. We're likely going to get rate cuts. It's just about how much. But you have to assume that the market's priced a lot of that in. So we'll see. If we get that outsized rate cut, I don't know if that's good for the market. I think it may be spooking it like there's something wrong with the market that they had to cut 50. We all know that they're behind the curve, but that's a look there. So I think it's a good look right now on the triple Qs, Sharuz. But I think we're in a pullback. And if you wanted to, get in heavily, I don't know if you're looking at day trade it, swing trade it, invest. I personally like everything that we've seen so far. The jobs numbers have been a little bit softer, but how many times are going to print 300,000 and 400,000 jobs added? There was going to be that time where you got, that 5-digit number, 90,000 jobs. And quite frankly, we have to expect a negative print coming in the next couple of years. I mean, we're not going to be adding jobs all the time. So how much of that is priced into the market? Price action-wise, you have obviously 430 as your level of support. That is the bottom from Black Monday, with obviously 500 as your level of resistance, and we're kind of in the whiffling and waffling. So we'll see. Thanks so much. Guess there is a big possibility we hit 200 again tomorrow. 200 on the triple Q? What do you mean? I think you mistyped that. No, definitely not the triple Qs, unless you were talking about something else. West y'all 1. Check out Siri, recovered post-split merger. Let's check out Sirius Satellite Radio. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What is this gap? Huh? Oh, here it is. What the hell is even that? Everybody knows where that's from. Well, do you not know?
I don't.
Okay, I'll tell you after. It's not something we can talk about here. So anyway, Sirius, next chapter charts independent path with buybacks and streamlined capital structure. Look, that's a monster gap there, and I don't see a reverse split, so I'll have to look into this a little bit more, but that is what the hell is this? 30-minute gap? That's crazy. What is going on? Did you know anything about this, Adara?
I heard some mention of a reverse split, but I haven't seen any clarification on that.
That's interesting.
Sorry, I know less about that than I would like to.
No worries. I mean, it's something for me to do homework on. Thank you for pointing that out. I had no idea. I don't see, is there a reverse split thing here? What did they say? They said, check out Siri, recovered post-split merger. Got it. Okay. So I'll have to look at that after, but thank you for letting me know that. It's a decent day for it today. I mean, it's negative, technically 1/3%, but that's a big boy move up. Yeah, so that's a look there.
Yeah,
what are you looking at? We got a 180 break on Amazon.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay,
nice.
so finally that came in, guys. So yeah, I kind of had the feeling we are looking to move up here in the future. And now Apple just printed day high as well. What else is printed day high? Well, that's about it, Adara. It's Amazon and Apple. Not much else printed day high. Everything well off the highs. Sorry, Trip.
Yeah, I'm involved in Tesla here because I know I said I was involved in too many tickers, and I mean, we're going to journal about that. But as of right now, I've already been involved in this one. So, you know, what's a girl to do? No, I'm joking. I do like the bull flag here. Yes, okay. I like the bull flag. That's why I got involved. I was risking here into 221.60s. We didn't even get close to that, so I said, okay, chill. I got so excited, and now we're basically back to flat. I really, though, like the potential for this to have this breakout as the futures move, and then we kind of undo all of that. So nice. Great look here. Let's see what occurs on the TSLA. You got to stay strong. You got to believe in yourself because the markets do not care about your feelings, and you have to trade dead inside. You can't be dead inside if you're getting in your feels. Shout out to Drake. Tesla, you don't love me. Are you riding? Are you going to push 222? I don't know. I'm going to stop trying to sing that song. But let's see what occurs here. Actually, it's funny, too, because that album is called Scorpion, and we were just talking about zodiacs in the chat. So shout out to all my Capricorns there in the chat. No cap, Capricorn. So, yeah, we'll see what we do here at 221.60s. We have not gotten there yet. GME breaking below 24, so just have this book up so I can trade this name. Wow, yeah, Apple, okay, we're going to add, okay, Tesla breaking above 222s. We're going to add here, not very much, but okay, we broke back below. Let's see what we do here. Just going to add a skosh if we can hold that 222 level there. Nice. AAPL, though, I want to pull up because I am like, yeah, talk about getting out of a trade early. I know I said one of the things I was trying to do less today was get out of trades too early. And then what do? We're also going to get out a third of the Tesla here at 222.20s. We got out of a trade way too early here in AAPL. We had the long. I got out for 220.20. I don't think thought clearly enough about my risk levels. That is an L. Then I should have been getting long that 220.20 area instead of doing whatever the heck this short was. So again, lots of reflection already. We're already aggressively journaling in front of all of you guys. And again, that's one of the things I really like about being on this show is you do have the ability to reflect in real time. As we get some strength here in TSLA, AAPL, NVDA, Microsoft, as Sharif alluded to, there is still a lot of weakness and less excited names here in the Meg 7, Microsoft being one of them here. MSFT, still up about 1.5%. Wow, the support resistance flip, a little upset I missed that. Look at that, 412, what is this, 412.50. We jump, we find support, we reject at 413.50 with this beautiful topping tail candle. We come right back down. Then we come back and bounce, and then we reject at VWAP. Yeah, so some weakness there in Microsoft. Let's see if we can hold on to that EMA or if we slip below. Also, 412 was an interesting area for me for Microsoft going back a little bit. I just happen to remember that level. I've said before, I do think sometimes the eidetic memory is kind of helpful for trading for levels. So it's a level I remember finding interesting, though I don't trade Microsoft very often if I'm being real. Tesla. Happy I stuck with Tesla here because this Tesla pump is really nice. I was, like I said, a little bit like, oh, Adara, what are you doing? I had a bit of like, you know, a Billie Eilish, what was I made for a moment, but I was like, no, Adara, you're made to, you know, you like the markets, you like trading, you cannot get discouraged. Let your true colors shine through. Right now, the true color in this Tesla is green. I want to see us hold on to 22020s. That would be a nice look here for me. Yeah, I started to Cyndi Lauper, dope icon of the 80s. How are you doing here? I can't believe we only have 8 minutes left here, Sharif.
Crazy.
This is wild. I'm also going to be getting out another piece of this Tesla if we can't hold that 22020s. How you doing?
Man, we're about to go green on Apple, and so that could be interesting for traders because that could be a resistance level off which to work. And I'll let you know where that is. Just a skosh below 221, that 220.92. Right now we have a 220.80 level, but that 220 did feature a lot today on Apple. So that was a good look, but it does get breached in, approaching that more liquid time of the day. That 110 time slot, we do take it out on a closing basis. Come back in, ironically, we don't even test it, but we test, for whatever reason, pivot points over here featuring on Apple. But this is a good look. Keep your eye out on 221, though. Obviously, it's a nice bounce off a key technical support level, but 221 or that general area, 220.92, could be, all she wrote there. The high, from Apple yesterday, in case we do breach 221, is 221.80. So kind of like exactly where we're at now, but just $1 a little bit higher there. So still down 0.7% on the day, but it really has been the Amazon story today. I got to tell you the truth. It is fighting with Tesla right now for the number one Mag 7 name, 2.84 for Zon, 2.77 for Tesla here as it recovers from that, looks to be like a triple, quadruple bottom, generally at that 219. Obviously, the 218.64 is a low day on Tesla, but it did defend 219 quite well. And just, to point this out, 219 was the 200 period moving average on the 5, not one that I use. I typically not using the 50 and the 200 as much on the 5. Those are more for the wider time frames. The 10 and the 20 seem to feature a lot more, especially on the 5 minute. That's been my observation. Tesla now, breaking through the volume weighted average price, inching in close to that $0.50, and that 180.50 on Amazon just came in. So Tesla, Amazon looking strong. So is AAPL, but it's not breaching highs, and the huge is on its way to 1880 Adara. 18,800, which is a bit of a local top as well, especially in the early morning hours. We did get wicks into 18,821, but for all intents and purposes, we closed. Every single 5 minute candle closed sub 18.8. So here we go. We could be hitting 18.8 quite soon. There's 5 minutes left on the show. Are you okay with your position?
I'm okay with my position. Yeah, I can talk through this Tesla.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
I just want to make sure, because I got to weasel out of here, right?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, weasel.
All right, I'll see everybody in a hot second on the green screen.
Thank you so much, Sharif, and shout out to everything you do. Thank you for putting together the lessons, and thank you for being here every day. I continue to stand by that 222.20 level on Tesla in terms of where my stop is going to be. Why? Because we got to 222.40s. I said if we reject 222.30s here, 222.24s. I said if we reject 222.30s here, you don't want that smoke. We pop back above 222.30s, but now we're struggling with 222.50s. So that's a bit of an interesting level. Let's see what we do here on TSLA as we waffle and we whiffle. I want to see this interaction here, 222s, bit of a widening here in the spread at that 222.20 area. It is VWAP. It was also, a bit of an interesting area. We're just going to get out here as we continue to waffle there because I did not like that look. Now, of course, we pop higher, but you know what? You got to trust yourself. And like I said, the theme of the week for me so far has been Adara, work on your stop losses as you move them. Sincerely, Adara. So we'll see what happens here in TSLA. For the record, I was planning on taking some more profit and I stayed here at 222.80s, which was that kind of area that was interesting on a wick basis earlier. Then I'd like to see the 223.24. Happy I got it where I did, though, because look, we break back below that 222 and we keep pushing lower. The other reason I like 222 for that long was because I liked this pseudo double bottom here. It was pretty bullish. I've always said when you have support and you come back to that support only on a wick basis, then I always find it to be bullish. We had that Kodunk. I missed the short 222, so I was like, you know what? If it comes back up, 222 long could be a little bit spicy. Yeah, sorry guys, I know I'm talking very quickly, but I am very energized by those markets. And again, I want to shout out something Obi said a couple weeks ago that I thought was pretty funny here. The book moves a lot faster than I can talk. So I'm just trying to summarize this as quickly as I can. I did get a kick out of that, and it made me feel better about my life. So thank you. The 222 is actually a bit of a bounce area here in Tesla, but then we reject off 222.10s. So Are we making lower highs here in TSLA? I don't know. Time will tell. We'll figure it out. But Apple getting a little top and taily. Q's a little. Oh, hello, Randy. How are you doing today? What did you get from Starbucks?
Americano.
He got an Americano. Shout out to the Canadiana with the Americano here with Randy. He is not mic'd up, but he is sitting here. I like your glasses frames, by the way, Randy. And I like your green hoodie. The market actually is green along with you today. So you're matching the market. Nice. Hi, Randy is filling in for Sharif here today. Also, I like this SPY short here actually with that 547 rejection. Look how many times we wick into this and we can't close above it. I want to see us one more time reject this 547. If we do so, I will take an end of day short. You guys know I'll sometimes scalp, a last trade of the day. Just, if I see something I like here. We cannot even get to 547. That is nice. Okay, 89s. If we get those again, we're going to go 89s. We're going to risk it into 547 20s. I like that. Let's see if we get filled. I'm not sure we will. Might have been waiting a little too long here, but I saw what I wanted basically, which was lower highs. Let's see. We got filled. We're going to be looking to take some profit here at 546.50s. That would be VWAP. That was a level I watched. As I've said, I have 2 playbook trades in this the SPY. It's going to be whole dollar breaks and previous levels of interest. So we'll see if either of those come into play. Are you enjoying your Americano, Randy? Nice. Are you excited for all this market action coming in the rest of the day? He is excited. Randy's pumped. The SPY and the Qs have been pumping, but we do have some of these names coming back to the downside here. Amazon, big bearish engulfing somehow after that big pop up. We do get engulfed by the bears. Those claws going roar to the downside. Still watching my SPY as it tries to whiffle and waffle here with 547. AMZN coming back to that 180 level. That is pretty interesting. We have 1 minute left here. I hope you guys had an interesting show. I hope you guys enjoyed the show today. I know this has been really fun. Sharu saying, can the Q hit the 200 MA on the daily tomorrow? I agree with Sharif. I think it's really going to depend on what we get with CPI. So we're going to have to see what we see on the CPI on that level. I think this will be pretty interesting here. Listening to Adair at 2 times speed, says Tony Price. Yeah, it could be interesting. I do Mashworth. I do. I'm like pretty tired anyway. If you're not new, you may have heard. I do talk about being a little medically sleepy. So generally, I am pretty high energy. Yeah, this helps, right? So that is why there is the coffee. But either way, I'm high energy. No matter what, you got to keep the energy high to keep things exciting. With that in mind, our show is done. We will see you guys tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Randy, we're going to wave goodbye now. We'll see Sharif at the green screen and Obi and Sean at the big desk. Let's go.
See you.
Welcome to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decide what we talk